Welcome back to the PigSkin podcast. This is season 2, episode 7. This will be our college football week 3 roundup as well as NFL week 2. We've got a lot that we're going to get into. OU, we're going to start it off there. 3-0. Everyone was worried about Tulane, worried about the offense. They covered and they won. He's 3-0. Game day in Tennessee's coming to town. We'll get into that in our weekend preview episode. But again,
great teams covered.
Great teams covered, man. I want to go ahead and get into it. Offense came out, was just on fire. You said what?
How was the crowd? Were you at the game?
I didn't go to the game, no.
Okay.
I'm going this weekend, OU Tennessee.
Yeah.
But I know the crowd looked like they kind of faded out of there, which they did on the student section.
I don't blame them.
It's hot as
I've done that before.
Fuck. Yeah.
I've done that before.
Gotta go home and get pissed off.
And I remember the UTEP game in 2022. I left at halftime.
Yeah.
I'm a piece of shit. There. It's fine.
Me too. But
it was hot.
It was very hot. It was very hot. And they were in the sun the entire time. When they started leaving, it was 21-0. It looked like OU was about to run away with it. Mm-hmm. And so, to the credit, they stayed a lot longer than I thought they would. Do you again want to get into what the offense did first? We'll break them down a little bit. So they come out, first drive, 14 plays, a hair over 4 minutes, I want to say. 4 or 5 minutes roughly. Jackson Arnold catches. Oh yeah. Jackson Arnold catches the bad snap from Bates. Still gets the fake handoff out, and then stiff arms, Baker Mayfield style stiff arms the linebacker from Tulane, and then just beats everyone to the edge. Defense forces a 3-and-out, and then offense takes the ball right back down the field. Jackson hit an absolute dime to Deion Burks in the back of the end zone, but Deion never reestablished himself, so that's kind of tough. But it's the second quarter.
What is the rule on that? Because I was confused, and the reason I was confused is because he was forced out of bounds. He tried to reestablish himself, but because he was out of bounds, like in the end zone, that doesn't count as reestablishing yourself. Because if it's not the end zone, it's just on the field, and he's reestablishing himself to come back, that would have been a catch. That would have been called a catch, right? But because it was like when he was trying to reestablish himself, he was already past the pylon.
I believe that's part of it, but also, like, if you go back and look at it, he was still out of bounds technically when he dove for the ball. He wasn't back in bounds as he dove. He still had his foot out of bounds.
On the ground. Didn't see his feet on the ground.
Fair enough. But field flips. Jackson then hits just an absolute is out of the 2-back set. Fake handoff, RPO, whatever you want to call it. They swing Taylor Tatum out, hits him. Then Taylor Tatum throws up the home run ball. By the way, I don't know if you saw that celebration when he got in the end zone. And then Taylor Tatum gets back in the end zone on the ground. That's his 3rd touchdown of the season, I believe. So, quick start for the freshman. In terms of running backs, Javonte Barnes did play the majority of the snaps. I think he played 47% of the snaps. And then Sawchuk and Tatum split the other 53%. Looked better at wide receiver. Deion Burks played a lot better. They were actually able to hit him on the move and not him just with his back to the defense and having to create space after getting the ball. So he looked good. Zion Kearney played a little bit. Traquez Petaway, I think, got 1 target.
Yeah, on the one that Jackson missed him.
Yeah, he was like 19, 20 yards on field. He missed him. Overall, better offensive performance. One of the things I want to shout out. So finally, it only took Logan Hallen getting his ass whooped and then getting pulled from the game. Logan Hallen gets whooped. Jackson gets hit. He gets pulled out the game. They move Big Jake back out to left tackle, and they sub in Hito Zade at left guard. And he played well. Now,
Jacob
he had
Sexton,
some frustrating
mistakes. Jake Taylor.
Yes, Jacob Sexton. Did I say Jake Taylor?
No, you just said Big Jake.
Oh, okay.
But I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. So Jacob Sexton kicks out to left tackle. They sub in Hito Zade at left guard. On the pick six, which we'll get into in a minute, just misses on the stunt. They run a nose DN stunts. They bring the end back around. He loops. Hithozada just completely misses his assignment. Jackson gets hit, stays alive, runs up the field, tries to get rid of it, hit his check down, and Tyler Grubbs, the backer for Tulane, just takes it to the house, which makes it look worse than it really was. I feel like OU was pretty much in control for the majority of the game until the second drive
That
of the
was the
third
play. That
quarter
was the
through
pick
the
six,
fourth.
right?
That was the pick six, yes.
I thought that was just like I didn't know it was a stunt. When I watched it, it looked like just a straight on blitz.
Was
I
it?
mean, I think so because
Oh, I
it
may
might
have
have been a
missed it then.
stunt. I mean, I missed it,
No,
but
the linebacker did come on a blitz. They
yeah,
ran
it
it was a cover zero. Yeah, it was an all-out
yeah,
blitz. Okay, that's my bad. I'm thinking of another play that Heath Lozada missed his read
yeah.
on and got
Because
Jackson
that
blown up.
wasn't.
But
I didn't really feel like that was his fault on
Lozada?
that one. Yeah, that's just he's making a block. He's helping out his center. They're angled there.
Yeah, but you got to know
That's
you got to see that coming though.
that.
It happens.
That's why
he's
you
a
have the
redshirt.
running back out there, though. That's why
That is
Sawchuk.
true.
I don't remember who it was that was out there, but she blocked that guy.
Yeah.
She blocked that guy. I think it was Tatum. I think it was.
What Tatum? The combination of Lozada and Tatum, they made a lot of
Because it was just a free blitz. I didn't see the stunt. I mean, there was. But that's just
football. It happens.
I don't know, man. Like our offensive line. So we'll get into the Chicago game later. Obviously, I've got my Bears shirt on. They don't read simple stunts. Like they don't know their assignments in situations like that, and that's kind of concerning because that's tape. I mean, that's clinic tape for Tennessee to look at, and like you mentioned earlier, we'll get into that later. I don't want to think about that right now, but
yeah,
it's just simple stuff like that, and it's not just Ozida. I mean, you got Weewoo having problems with that, and he's our experienced guy. He's the guy that we thought was going to be our most stout, the guy that you could depend on the most.
Yeah, the right side looked better than left though. Michael Tarquin played well. Weewoo has struggled a lot more than I thought he was going to. That is true. That is true. Those illegal formation penalties are tough, man. You can't have that. But when he was in alignment, he played well. But like I said, defense from the second drive of the third quarter to early in the fourth, the offense was just nothing. Now Tulane, they were finally able to dial up some pressure, and it seemed like that really, really just messed with the offense, and so that's what kind of stalled them. But what gives me hope is one, the fact they scored 34 points, but two, when they needed to score, they went and did it. In the fourth quarter, when they needed to score, they went and did it. Jackson ran the ball very well. He had a 47-yarder, I want to say.
Dude, despite his pick six, he won us the football game.
He's very accurate with the ball, too.
Yeah, except for the pet-away throw.
Yeah, the pet-away throw, and then it happens.
Well, let's get into Jackson on a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I get it. Things haven't been really going well for the offense. The old Spencer Rattler, Caleb Williams debate. Should we put in Michael Hawkins? I think Jackson kind of showed you why it'd be kind of useless to put the freshman out there. Maybe the freshman's a little more dynamic running the ball, but Jackson showed he's got legs. I mean, the kid can run. He's faster than I thought he was. I mean, he broke up that long run, and I thought, like, he looked fast. He looked a lot faster than I thought he was.
Were you on Twitter at all during the game? I usually stay off Twitter during the game. But after Jackson broke off that run, I wanted to go see what people were saying. And I don't know if you follow George Stoya from Center Scoop, but he tweeted out about the Jackson 47-yard run. The first comment that popped up was Michael Hawkins would have scored. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
I love that. I honestly
That's so funny. It's so funny.
Sometimes you just got to throw a Hail Mary tweet out there.
Yeah, so, it's a good tweet. It's a hell of a tweet.
He looked good running the ball. I wish Heath Ozida. So on the run that he had where he slid, guy hits him low. It's a late hit on the quarterback. He ends up getting ejected for targeting. I kind of felt bad for the kid.
Yeah, I didn't think that was targeting, but I'll take it.
Well, I mean, by definition it is, but it's kind of hard to stop your momentum. I mean, it happens so fast. Also, Jackson doesn't slide a lot. So he's usually
Yeah, that was
lowering the
the other
shoulder.
part. Yeah.
He usually doesn't. He usually lowers his shoulder a little bit. You know, a little Jimmy Green Beans action. But yeah, I mean, he ends up getting targeted. I wish one criticism of Hito Zaida, other than like some of the missed assignments, I I would like for him to attack that guy. You know, stick up for your quarterback. Don't just stand there.
Yeah.
That's just me nitpicking at this point. I like my guys like going. I like my offensive lineman rallying around my quarterback. You know.
Just don't take your fucking helmet off.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, he looked good. I thought he threw the ball well. I mean, the pick six, bad decision. It's also just missed assignment on the blitzing linebacker. He thought he had
Yeah.
protection. I'm pretty sure he like didn't call it out because he thought, yeah, no, I'm good. Like they're gonna pick this up. They see it clearly. Yeah, they didn't. He tried to fit the ball into I mean, I guess a tiny envelope, and
Yeah.
yeah, didn't really go the way that he wanted to. I'm sure he wishes he had that back, but you know, a lot of people were very pissed off about the pick six. Was more pissed off that there was a free blitzer coming on.
That's exactly, yeah. It sped everything up. It threw Jackson off, and he just tried to make a play. Now, should he have just dumped it at the receiver's feet? Yes, but it happens, man.
Honestly, I think he should have tried to pick up as many yards as he could. Like, I mean, he broke the tackle. You probably
Right.
should run north, you know, but young, inexperienced, you're gonna make those mistakes when your offensive line's bad.
Yeah.
I've seen it all too often with quarterbacks at the NFL, like the rookie NFL quarterbacks with bad offensive lines. I've seen it with inexperienced quarterbacks with bad offensive lines as well.
Yeah.
It happens. Like panic when stuff like that happens, when your protection breaks down and people are missing their assignments and you don't trust offensive line. And then that's another thing. It doesn't really look like he trusts his offensive line last week against Houston. I felt like he trusted it a lot more, like at least in the first half of this game. But you know, it again when Josh Bates can't get a hold of somebody with his hands and a guy comes down, absolutely whoops his ass. I mean, he doesn't even like bull rush him. He just does the
Yeah.
finesse move, horse collar tackles Jackson Arnold. I mean, that's frustrating.
Yeah.
And it is because I know we've already talked about the offensive line many times and how we feel about it. But I mean, what do you expect this kid to do? Like, how do you expect to gain confidence going to, like, look at the schedule the rest of the way. It doesn't get any easier.
Yeah.
Like, how do you drill it into this team's head? Like, hey, you need to grab a hold of guys. Like, you have to be in sync. You have to like the protection just has to get better.
Yeah.
This kid's too talented. He makes the right throws. He makes the right reads. He does everything he's supposed to do. But all that shit breaks down when you can't block. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Tulane's defense. Those edge guys are not any good. I don't think their interior guys are all that good either.
No, they're not.
We
And
still can't run the ball either, which we'll get into that in a second.
I will say we doubled our yards per carry in this game, though.
Yeah, it was good. I was gonna break my TV if Barnes did not go through that hole.
Yeah.
The one that opened wide up. I wish he would have made the guy miss ankle pick a little bit higher. I think it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the hand is a little bit higher on his shin, he probably makes the guy miss, but it's right on his ankle. That's just a tough thing to break.
I want to get your thoughts on this play real quick. So when it happened live, I got mad, and then I was like, "Well, it's probably a good play call. They ran it too quickly." And then I went and I watched it. As I was watching everything back, I got pissed off at it again because I didn't think it was all too necessary. Um, that little like halfback throwback pass, that was unnecessary. Like it was not the best of play calls. Like it was okay, but I think it could have worked. I just don't think for the rut that your offense is in, especially at that time of the game. I don't think you need to run that. Just fucking run normal plays.
I didn't mind. I saw it happening, and like I know a lot of people were pissed off that it didn't work, but it's like you got to get creative sometimes. Like you got to just throw it out there. Well, you need to see what, and those are pointers that you can point out. Like, hey, you should have done this. Like, hey, this is how it should have been executed. Let's try this next time. You know, it's probably not a play they practice a whole lot. I can't imagine that they do. I'm sure I'm sure they do practice it. It's just not to a level where you're going to use it all the time in games. But I think that's another thing. I mean, like, what are we practicing? I know that coaching staff is practicing and like drilling into these guys' heads, like, hey, this is the execution, this is what you're supposed to do. And it's just like it feels like they just go like brain dead on the field and they completely miss what they're supposed to do. Blocking, not only blocking but routes. I don't know. I get it. Guys are hurt. You know, you're missing Nick Anderson. You're missing a healthy Andrew Anthony. Farouk's out for the season. Jaden Gibson. I get that, but I don't know. It just like this is stuff that like it shouldn't be that hard. Does Latrell have like the hardest offense to run or something? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess we're putting too much on the freshman wide receivers to go out there and do stuff, but
that's part of it. Look, there's so many injuries across this team, but there's also so much talent that you think at some point it's got to pick up, right? And the intriguing thing, I mean, they were better than they were last week.
Yeah,
not much, marginally.
I think the offensive line was a little better, but I don't know if it was the offensive line was better or the execution was just faster. Jackson, I mean, they're running routes, they're scheming things open to get Jackson not only on the run but also throwing the ball a little bit.
Did you see after one of the 3 and outs when Jackson got sacked twice, they cut to Bill Bedenbaugh on the sideline after coming back from, and he was ripping ass, dude. He was just ripping into people.
Yeah, he's farting everywhere.
He was shitting himself, dude. He's throwing those zins down his throat, and they were going right out of his ass.
No, he was pissed. I don't blame him.
He's never right to
be. I don't remember which play it was, but it wasn't a defensive play. It was actually an offensive play. I think it was a sack. I don't remember exactly what the play was, but they cut over to Brent Venables, and I mean, he's not screaming at the refs. He's going like, like, I mean, it looked like Rex Ryan or like Rob Ryan on the field, just absolutely screaming at a player. And I mean, I think it'll gel. I think it'll get better. At least I'm confident that listen. You're gonna have to be.
I'd like it to get better in 96 hours.
That pass rush for Tulane, it's not horrible, but it's not very good. It's better than Houston. It's better than Temple. But progressively, like it is going to get harder, and we got a tough ask. Tennessee, they got dudes all across that front.
Yeah,
dudes.
Yeah. Starting with James Pierce.
Yeah, I think James Pierce, and I hope not, and I hope my wildest dream comes true that we can play well and block as good as we can for Jackson Arnold. I think James Pierce is going to baptize Jacob Sexton. Yeah. Welcome to the SEC, buddy.
Yeah, it's
because I thought Sexton struggled a lot. Yeah. I mean, he held point, but it's more than just holding point. Like pad level, man. You got to get lower than the guy. You got to lift him up.
I know he's a big dude, but still, man, like Bill Bedenbaugh is an expert in teaching pad. Well, he's an expert in teaching offensive line.
Everything.
But
look at who he's put in the NFL. Yeah. He had a Joe Moore award-winning like offensive line group. Like I know, or maybe this is like the final stage in like how he should be in the College Football Hall of Fame. Like I'm going to take a bunch of doofuses and turn them in to great offensive line.
Because you don't think I'm great yet? Watch what I do with these fucktards, dude.
It's not as easy as it looks.
It's not. Bill. Look, he put Eric Wren on an NFL roster for 2 years. And Eric Wren was 5'10" and a half, 280.
Yeah. Made Ty Darlington look really good.
He did make Ty Dawn.
He was good. He got better. I just remember like watching him when he was young.
He's also turned multiple tight ends into first round picks. So
yeah,
tackle.
Like I know they're practicing. Yeah, Tyler Guyton. I know they're practicing. Like I know that they're drilling in. Like I don't know, like what's going on.
I don't get it. It just has to get better. At the end of the day, it has to get better. And look, the offense, they had 169 yards through the air, 182 yards on the ground. Jackson's gross rushing yards is about 112-ish, roughly.
I thought you were going to say gross pick six. I was going to cry.
Well, it was a gross pick six. But his gross rushing yards...
that's just an all-around bad play, like, altogether.
Yeah.
No, just offensive line, running back not picking up the blitz, holes wide open for the linebacker to come through. Jackson, yeah, people were not very kind to Jackson Arnold on Twitter after that pick six.
Yeah, everyone looks at the quarterback.
Watch the fucking game. Yeah,
I know.
Watch the game. Like I was and when I texted you and said that he's going to get benched, it's not because I don't think he looks like the guy to me.
Yeah.
It's a clear difference between like having Trevor Knight out there, like remember like in 2014 after the Sugar Bowl, it's like, or like Spencer Rattler, like in 2021, like missing guys, like just making errant throws. Like, I mean, it's not that. It's like just when things break down, they break down, and he's got to learn to like make guys miss in the pocket. Like he's got to learn to be elusive.
That's the biggest thing I think he needs to improve on. His pocket presence and movement within the pocket has to improve, especially like now when the offensive line is as suspect as it is 90% of the game. He has to be able to make dudes miss in the pocket, keep plays alive, and make them.
It's also hard when you don't know what's going to break down. Like, am I going to be?
Well, in any given play, any of the five guys in front of him can fucking lose.
Yeah.
Starting with his fucking center, like
it just. I think that's like the one thing he's missing in this game is like how can he shed tacklers? Like how can he make guys miss? How can he be better in the pocket? Like just moving around. Like you saw it with Baker, you saw it with Kyler, you saw it with Caleb, and like what he can do. You got to be able to. If you're going to be that guy, you're not going to be perfect on the offensive line all game. Like things are going to break down. Blitzes are going to be dialed up. People are going to make mistakes. Like offensive line are going to get beat at times. So that's one thing he does need to work on. Also, we need to work on maybe like the middle of the field more.
Yeah, the middle of the field has just been. They ran a couple plays there. Like they hit Dion on a couple slants, and then it was third and 8, first
do
quarter.
Some China, do some like double China, like have two slants, like throw anything out there. Just get the middle of the field going.
They ran. It was a beautiful play. It was one of the few fuck ups I feel like Deion Burks had. But it was an early third down in the first quarter because they were still going south to north. It was in the first quarter. Deion Burks is coming across the middle. Jackson hits him right in the hands on third and gotta have it. And he fucking dropped it. And it was a first down. And he was going down to the ground. And it was at least a first down. And he just dropped it. And so it's just like when things go right, he can't fucking.
Can we just run that?
We ran that on the fucking touchdown throw to Deion Burks that he stepped out of bounds on. And it worked.
I know. Can we do it again?
I know.
Which I get it. Like, you got to throw. You don't want to show too much. Like, I know there's more tricks in the bag. I know that like they're going to be able to open up the offense more, especially when the run game gets going. We saw it last year. Couldn't run the ball. Offensive line gelled. Having Caden Green out there, like it helped. He's just a bigger physical presence. God, I wish he was still out there, man. But Ozida can take that role. Like he had some fuck ups early, and it was like, man, he's not ready. But
that's like, he got going stuff on tape.
Yeah, he got going, and it was like he's getting after dudes.
It was clearly the best 5 they've had on the field so far this year.
No, we need Hickman out there.
Well, we do. I'm not saying that's their best 5. But from what's available, that's the best 5 they have right now until Hickman's healthy. So
I I thought Bates did a better job in this game, but he still had some moments where it's just like, man, if he's not healthy, then like credit to him for going out there and battling. But
Doesn't look good. I saw I feel like we played a lot more Bauer Sharp than we did Jake Roberts. I feel like I didn't see a whole lot of Jake Roberts, especially towards through the second half. I don't know what that was. Maybe I was just missing it. Receivers, I do think we got some good things out of the receivers. Zion Kearney played well. I think he did well.
He did well in the beginning. I don't know what happened in the second half when he was out there. I think it just kind of like what we talked about with Kanik, like his play just kind of like it's too much for him. Some stuff. I think getting him the reps is good though. I think he's my favorite receiver in that freshman class. I like Kearney a lot. I think he can be like he can be a big presence. Just got to learn to, don't break down. Like keep your head on the swivel, like these offensive line players.
Yeah, I think
weird. You got to keep your head on a swivel, and so does the offensive line.
I think we did some better things in the run game. We put in a little bit different packages in there, ran a little bit different, a few different concepts than we've shown all season. I still think we need to go with some outside zone. Defense could barely stop the outside zone from Tulane. But all in all, we won. We scored 34 points. We made a field goal. Would have had a 50-yarder if they didn't have the delay of game because Keltner drilled that one. But Luke Elzinga, by the way, that punt that he hit right.
Tressway vibes, dude.
He's so good, man. He's so good. And oh my God, he's fantastic. He might be my favorite player on the team. Yeah, no, literally
an absolute weapon.
We're gonna need a lot.
It's good to have like a good punter when you have issues on your offense.
Oh yeah, especially if you have a good defense. Which is gonna lead us right into the defense. So I've been thinking about it and talking about it and researching it, and looking it up nonstop. Brent Venables and Zach Alley do some fucking cool shit with the defense. I wrote down 3 different variations of a 4-2-5 rush package that they had out there. One of them, they walked down the Mike and Samuel Mosigo as Cheetah to play on the 2 defensive end spots. And then they had Grayson Holden at nose. They had Ethan Downs next to him. And then they had Armason Thomas and Trace Ford in the backfield. Or at the second level. Yeah. And then when the ball was snapped, Grayson and Ethan split out and took the guard in the center. And then Trace Ford and Armason Thomas funneled in behind them, and Danny and Sammy broke out in the zone coverage while everyone else is in man. And this is the top one that I have written down here. They brought the X receiver in motion. Everyone else was man to man. I think it was Kanai was the far side corner, took the tight end, and it was just beautiful. And they would have gotten a sack if the halfback didn't drop down and play really great in the blitz pickup.
I like the coach's board. That's awesome.
It's fantastic, man. I had to get one, dude. I couldn't stop talking about it.
Yeah, you're a football guy. You should have one. Football guys should have one.
That they broke that out, by the way, on the first third down on the first defensive drive. Later on, they come out with 4 fucking defensive ends across the line.
Love it.
They had PJ, Ethan, Armason Thomas, and Trace Ford as your 4 down linemen. And then they ran another one with 3 down defensive ends and Grayson Halton in at the nose. And it was, dude, I love this defense. I really do.
Full the offense.
Oh my God, they do a good
job of like disguising things.
No, they really do, man. Pretty sure.
As far as individual players, I think I heard John Terry's name called on tackles like at least like back to back. I think it was like either the second or third drive for Tulane. He had a monster day. John Terry was awesome in the game.
And he even got hurt, rolled up his ankle a little bit, came back in and played well.
I did not know that.
Yes. He got rolled as midway through the third quarter, I want to say.
Should we
Danny Stutzman. No, he came back in and played. just fine. He just got kind of rolled up on. He was fine.
Maybe the adrenaline. Maybe you didn't feel it.
Well, no, he went in. He went into the medical tent and then came back out like the next drive and was fine. So the adrenaline was gone. He was cool. Danny Stutzman, of course, led the team in tackles again. Saw a lot of Jaren Kanak. They went like heavy packages with Jaren at Cheetah. Woody Washington played a lot of Cheetah. So Kendall Dolby was out for this game, obviously. Jaren Kanak, Sammy Omosigo, and Kendall Dolby subbed in to play Cheetah. He played well. Yeah, Woody Washington. Woody Washington, I think, was supposed to be in coverage on one of those crossing routes that they missed. They didn't hand off. That was the one big concern with the defense. It didn't seem like they were handing things off correctly, and that could just be not necessarily inexperience, but a lack of chemistry with those guys playing together. They had kind of like a jumble of guys out there from time to time. Eli Bowen played, I think, like 17 snaps. Played well. PJ played 18 snaps, I want to say.
He looked a lot better.
He did look a lot better. I do want to shout out one guy that I think all of us Sooner fans were excited to finally see take that step. And it was over the span of 7 plays. R. Mason Thomas had a sack, a pass deflection, a sack, and then a sack with a strip fumble, or a strip sack and a fumble recovery. Span of 7 plays.
He was playing good all game.
Yeah, he was getting there all game. And it could just never fully get to the quarterback until the very end when we needed it most.
He's getting there. Watch me switch back and forth from all.
Yeah, I know.
Ray Allen. Yeah, no, he was awesome. Absolutely, he was good. I think the kind of a guy that we don't really mention on this podcast that much, but has quietly been just really good for us, Des Malone.
Yeah.
He's been like borderline lockdown. Like there are plays where Mensa's having to put it in the right spot, and he can't yet. And Des Malone's able to, pass to like the ball.
He had about one catch for negative 2 yards.
Yeah, he's been great. Kanai Walker struggled a little bit. I don't know if it was him or it's just like Woody Washington, because Woody just looks naturally better at the corner position. He's been playing it for 3 years, so I think that's just kind of where he fits the best in that role. But Kanai got beat deep a couple times. It's okay. I mean,
they didn't connect
on
the zone.
Yeah. Like he's, or he's either playing man and just like broke off on his receiver to cover somebody else, but I don't know. But it's okay.
There was one in the first half where he was a little slow to flip his hips and go with the receiver. I think that's probably one of the ones you're talking about.
Yeah. All in all, I thought they played good, though.
Only allowed 13 points.
Yeah.
That's 3, 12, and 13.
Tennessee's going to score 16. That's it.
Yeah.
I should probably shut up and not talk.
That's an average of 9.3 points per game from the defense.
Yeah, I know. We thought they were going to be the strength of the team. Yeah. They have been.
Outside of Luke Elzinga.
Past 2 years, it's looked like this, though, where the defense starts strong, offense is kind of slow, and then it just completely flips. Oklahoma can't have both. Well, I think the football gods, we've done something as a fan base. So what would you rather have? Would you rather the defense keep playing the way that they are? Or would you rather the offense, would you rather have a defense that's playing really, really good, and the offense just, they'll find points when they're there? Or would you rather have an offense that could score a ton of points, but they're constantly having to be? I think at this point, you'd rather have a very, very good defense because the offensive line that we have right now.
I'd rather win 16-12 than 45-44.
Yeah.
45-44 might be more
bad
fun
day for the overs. Yeah.
But it's a lot more stressful.
I think I would rather have a high-scoring game for the Red River Shootout. I think it's got to be.
Yeah.
But man, it would be sick if we could limit Tennessee to like 24 points.
I think that's the magic number. I think the magic number for the Tennessee game, and obviously we have a whole preview episode we're going to get into, but I think it's somewhere between 24, 28. If we can hold them to that, I think we can win. Like Tennessee's really strong up front on defense, but their secondary is not that good. That's just the problem is we have no vertical passing game. So
we can't run the ball. I mean,
yeah.
we can't spread the ball either. I mean, you know, all the Oklahoma fans that fucking hated Levy, it's like he knew what he was doing.
He got his ass kicked by Toledo this weekend, so
that team stinks.
Yeah, the Mississippi State team stinks.
He's got a lot to work on for that football team. Remember, he had Dylan Gabriel. He's got Blake Shapen now.
Yeah.
Toledo sleeper team. All right. Toledo's got some good moments in the past like decade.
Yeah. And realistically, it was the first half. I mean, they played better in the second half. But anyways, we're getting off topic. I mean, yeah, this is the defense that we've all dreamed of, that we've wanted for over a decade. And now that we have it, the offense just decides to shit the bed on a weekly basis.
Well, we had concerns about the offensive line. Guys get injured. It's rough.
Yeah, and it would be one thing if it was depth that was injured, but it's starters and depth. Like, it's everything. So it is what it is. This game will be obviously the best test for us. I mean, this is a top 3 team in the SEC.
We're gonna get Andrew out there. Do you think he plays?
I don't know. I'm 100% certain that Nick will play.
Yeah, no, Nick's gonna play. I couldn't imagine that we wouldn't throw him out there. He's had time to do what he needs to do to get that calf or that hamstring healthy. So
yeah,
Andrew is just kind of like I got towards ACL. He should be at least 80%, 90%. No,
it's been
almost
11 months. It's been 11 months.
So he's got to get him on the field. Like let him get that mental block out of his head.
Yeah, I think that's half of it. And that's what a lot of people talk about with the ACL thing is it's a mental block before it's a mental thing more than it is a physical thing. Like you trust the knee, but when you're out there and you have to actually trust the knee when it comes time to nut up, it's hard to put everything into it. It's such a strange feeling when it tears. Feels like there's nothing there, and then having to trust it's a whole other story. So, but
gonna need all hands on deck.
100%.
I know Tennessee hasn't been tested, but they're.
I don't know, man.
I mean, they're absolutely blowing opponents up.
The Kent State Golden Flashes are quite the test. It's a test of how much you can score and how quickly, but it's still a test.
Yeah. It was like 60 something to.
It was 65-0 at halftime. They went up 30-0, and then they kicked a fucking onside kick and got it.
You know what's scary about that?
I think Josh Heupel was just showing us. He's like, "This is what I'm gonna do to you guys next week."
Brent's probably in the lab right now. Like, oh yeah,
100%. Brent hasn't left the facility. I can tell you that.
Yeah, but the team's gonna have a lot of confidence coming into Norman. Now, it's the true. Here, let me say this: the scary part about that game is that Nico didn't even really play all that well. He didn't really play that well against NC State either.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to stop the run. Like we have to. We have to load the box. We have to be smart. And assignment sound. Like we have to be elite on defense.
100%.
Which I don't really know if I don't think we've seen how elite this defense can be. I think they've been very, very good. Like very good. We need Bama elite. Like 2016 Bama. 2016, 2017 Bama.
2021 Georgia.
Yeah. I mean, that's nice. But
I don't know.
We'll see.
I'm excited that we got to win. I'm excited that we're 3-0.
I'm excited that we get to play this game. Like, I know a lot of people are scared. I'm not. Like, this is a true test. Like, hey, what can we fix?
No matter how it goes, unless it's a blowout.
Yeah.
I will be okay with this weekend, I think. If we hold our own, which I think that we will, I'll be very excited. And look, man, I'm going to be there. I'm going.
Feel weird to say, being worried about Tennessee. Like, look how much college football has changed. Look what Josh Heupel's done for that program.
I know. Who'd have thought all it took was Bob?
They're the best. They're the best offense in the country between them and Texas.
Yeah. And Ole Miss.
Jackson Dart's playing really good. He was sloppy last season. He's doing a lot better right now.
He's dialed some shit in. He's really dialed it in.
Well, he's got SEC play coming up, so we'll get into that.
But anyways, yeah. At the end of the day, we're about to move on from this game. Super stoked. Team's 3-0. They're finding different ways to win. That's all you can ask for. But true test starts now. SEC play starts now. So, what was that? That Vanderbilt guy. He was like, when they had Alabama, they had just like beaten a team to go 3-0, and he goes, "It's time to show you what some SEC ball is." And then Jalen Hurts was like, "I mean, he's not wrong. They are the next team on the schedule," and then they went out and beat them like 60-0.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope to God
after we beat Tennessee, we need to make a sign that says we want Bishop Sycamore.
Yes. I'll make it right now. Dude, I got the coaches board out.
True test.
I don't even know that they took tests. They probably didn't. But anyways, next game I want to get into Georgia, Kentucky. Doesn't it feel like Kentucky is like Georgia light almost? They try to mirror what Georgia does. They try to play sound defense. They try to beat Georgia by being Georgia, and then it just never works out. Like it just never goes well. But for quite a while throughout this game, it really felt like Kentucky was going to do it. Now, I didn't think they were going to do it, but there was a pretty good sentiment throughout most of the game that they might, and then they ended up not doing it. Now,
6-9 at halftime. Nice, by the way.
Nice, very nice. Mark Stoops, you cannot pull the Antonio Pierce and punt from the plus 45-yard line with a chance to go beat the number one team in the country. Team you have beat since what, like 06?
I was shocked. Like, I like Mark Stoops a lot. I think he's a great coach. What he's done for the Kentucky program is incredible. Like, it's like Kansas in the Big 12. Like, they just weren't good. Like, they were awful. And Mark Stoops went in there and he's built a solid program. And, they're not the best. Like, they'll win 8 or 9 games. Maybe even sometimes 10, but I mean, they're not going to be the program that just, LSU, Bama, Georgia. But
you think Bob called Mark though and was like, "Hey, buddy,
no nuts."
Oh god.
No, I was going to say, like, that is chicken shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's Mark. What are you doing? Like that. Oh, okay. And people tried to explain it to me. They were saying, look, your defense had been playing really well. Georgia hadn't been able to move the football on you. Like, you were playing really good. Like, you have a chance to make them go 3 and out and get the ball back. Well, they didn't anticipate that it's Georgia. Back-to-back national title team. They were number 1 in the country. They got Carson Beck. I don't care what that offense looks like this year. Like, you have to go for it. Because if you don't make it, like, at least you let your nuts hang.
Yeah.
And then ultimately they ended up losing the game.
Yeah.
Because of that decision. And I like Mark Stoops. But come on, man.
Gotta be better than that.
Also, what was the running back's name for that game? Sumo Karngbae?
Oh, shit.
Sumo Karngbae.
Yeah.
I like that name.
I like him. He's a good back.
Yeah, he is a very good back. He was behind. He didn't really have that much production last year because of Bray Davis, but
yeah,
I think he's gonna be a really good back.
I agree.
sick name, Sumo.
It's a perfect running back
Anyways,
name, man.
Yeah. Anyways, sloppy game. It was a very good defensive game. Georgia's also 3-0. I probably wish that game wouldn't have been as close.
Yeah, Georgia always lays one sinker throughout the year, though, and then.
Yeah, and it was like Missouri a couple of years ago. Remember that?
Yeah. So it's just a get right game for them.
I don't think. I know Trevor Etienne had 19 yards, or he had 19 carries on 79 yards. I think I don't really think he was that good this game, and I think it's because Kentucky's defense was playing the run really well. But I mean, dude, you're one of the top portal running backs. Like, you gotta do something.
Yeah, especially coming from like Florida to Georgia. Like, you got to go out there and make a statement.
To his credit, there really wasn't much there. Like, their offensive line didn't play very well at all.
Yeah.
So
it's a tough game on all sides.
Yeah.
Carson Beck's so ugly.
That's yeah.
I say, but still.
I saw something and it was like somebody posted a picture of who he looks like, and I thought it was perfect. I don't remember who it was though. I wish I could find that. If I find it, I'll send it to you. Yeah, I know it was funny.
Moving on, want to hit on just a couple more games before we move on to NFL ball. I think the one ranked on ranked matchup we had all weekend, Missouri and Boston College. We had Arizona, Kansas State, but on Saturday, Missouri Boston College was a pretty good game. Now, look, I still think Missouri is a bit overhyped. I don't think Brady Cook's that good of a quarterback, but they still have Luther Burden. They still have Theo Weiss. Still have a pretty damn good defense. So they're a tough team. They're going to be a tough out for anybody in the SEC. It's going to be a tough game when OU goes to Columbia to play them. But I did not expect Boston College to stick around as long as they did.
Yeah, I mean, the throw, so like the tight end's wide open.
Yeah.
Busted coverage on that touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
If Missouri's going to be like, let's say they got one loss on the schedule coming in, like when we go to Missouri to play them, you can only hope the same thing happens. Like,
yeah.
We could scheme the same thing up for Bauer Sharp.
Hope so. Just don't let him try to block.
That was kind of the first thing I thought about was, oh, maybe Bauer Sharp can do that. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
But I mean, Missouri's still like, I guess on paper, a playoff team, just because they still have a lot of the same guys from last year, and they upgraded at left guard with Caden Green. Yeah. So, like, I mean, it's not going to be an easy game. I mean, they're still ranked. What are they, 6?
They're 7 now. Tennessee jumped them.
Yeah, so they're 7. Still the number 7 team in the country. They see something in the team like that. They're ranked that high for a reason. Boston College, I thought, hey, like going up against a much tougher opponent than you've had to face, and you play them that close, like this Boston College team might be for real.
Yeah, they're going to be good, and
I think so. Like
outside of Miami, I mean Pitt looks good too, but they got a benefit of the ACC not being too good this year. So
yeah. Well, they were down when Missouri was down. I was shocked. What was it, 14-0 at one point?
14-3.
Yeah. Missouri fans were probably panicking.
Yeah, no, they 100% were. But it was a good game. It was fairly entertaining. Didn't watch a whole lot of this one.
Which was awesome that they were panicking because that fan base is reckless.
Yeah. Because the game that had my attention, though, swung and missed on Notre Dame Purdue, by the way. But the game that had my attention, though.
My God. I didn't know Notre Dame could score 66 points.
I wish we could.
No shit. They ran for 362 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's on the ground. Riley Leonard had a sick touchdown run, too. Purdue couldn't play spoiler. They weren't the spoiler makers, unfortunately.
They weren't. They were not.
They usually are.
There was almost some spoiler cock though. South Carolina, man, this close. I mean, you can argue if Lenore Sellers doesn't get hurt, they win that game because they were rolling before he got hurt, and then Robbie Ashford came in and they sputtered a little bit. They got things going again. They just kept fucking sputtering afterwards. They just couldn't get it going. Rocket Sanders had an awesome touchdown run on fucking counter, and you thought maybe that pulled everything back, and then LSU Grant Nussmeier just played just good enough to win the game, and then South Carolina missed the game-winning field goal.
You know, so one thing before I get into the game, because there's a lot that I want to talk about. I watched the game and I watched it in its entirety. I'm trying to say that that's a hard phrase to say for some reason. I like Taylor Tatum. I think he's very talented.
I know where you're going with this.
Are we sure he was the number one running back?
Hayden Durham was so good, dude. Oh
he is explosive. He runs with physicality. He's making guys miss. Same thing with Frazier too in Georgia. Like they've been really good. Yeah. That was one of the things that kind of scared me about Taylor Tatum watching his high school tape. Great vision, knows where he needs to go, has a nose for the end zone. But picking up the tough yards is that's hard for him.
It is.
He had the touchdown, which was at the 1 yard line. The Taylor Tatum, but
he had a touchdown as well.
He looked good. I know he's small. He looks small on the field. He's like 5'8". I don't know exactly how big he is, but
he looks like a smaller P-Ryan out there.
He looks like Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
That's who I thought of immediately was I got another Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He looked good, dude. Running the ball, 11 carries, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. When LSU needed him most, yeah, he looked good. Imagine being a South Carolina fan. And it's 17-0. The crowd is rocking. Like, the Cox are back. Like, South Carolina, they look back. That front seven is, at times, they look like the best front seven in college football. Just huge. I mean, they've got massive guys on the D-line. They got some big backers, too. They look big on the field. They look huge. I remember pointing and being like, God, I didn't know Shane Beamer could recruit like this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And they looked awesome. Now they got tired at the end. They're on the field for most of the game. But how demoralizing to be up 17-0. And then they score, and then LSU starts coming back. Lenore Sellers has a big long touchdown run. It's like no matter what LSU can do, like this is destiny. Like this is our game. We're gonna win it. This is like we're putting the Cox back on the map. Lenore Sellers gets rolled up, sprains his ankle, and you have to put your backup out there. Which I need you to explain something to me. How the fuck is Robbie Ashford still getting? How is he still like playing football? Like, have people not watched him?
He's not good, dude. He's not good.
No, and like I'm sure he's a good kid. I hate to like bash on him. Like, I mean, he's put in a tough spot. That's a big game, but like, dude, how is he still like on a team? Like, how is he not playing G5? I mean, it was clear and obvious when he was out there. All they could do was run the ball. So LSU stacks the box. They had like 8 guys in the box at one point. It's like it's obvious that they're running. Rocket Sanders is awesome, but that's a tough ask. He had an incredible day, but yeah, I mean that's just demoralizing. And on top of that, okay, the first pick six that was called back, I understand. By definition, it's a horse collar tackle. It's bullshit. I would have kept it. If I'm the ref, because I hate Brian Kelly, I would have just called it a pick six and been like, yeah, I didn't see anything. Which credit to Brian Kelly, his guys fought for him. They won the game. So like, you got to give credit to him coaching his ass off at the end. But the first pick six, I understand. The second pick six, was such a badass play. It was just such a great individual effort by South Carolina.
Yeah.
That ref, like, check his bank account. Check and see, like, does he have Bovada? Does he have DraftKings? Does he have Caesar Sportsbook? Like, check his bank account immediately. That was so egregious. The defender barely put his hands on Nussmeier.
Yeah.
I know you can't touch
awful.
the quarterback, but it was just an absolute, like, it was a great flop by Nussmeier. He pulled the best, like, Neymar he possibly could, just flying around, just barely put two hands on him. And it was just like, it's like when you see fifth graders on the playground and one of the fifth graders shoves a kid. The kid just, in order to like get attention from the teacher and get that kid in trouble, he's just flying around. Like, it was just so egregious. I couldn't believe it. LSU scored after that. Yeah. Defense was tired, and they led a fourth quarter game-winning drive. But like Norris Sellers sprains basically like his ankle's no longer existent. They put him back out there. He just couldn't do.
It probably would have been better if he broke it. At that point, just might as well have broken it. It's a quicker healing process, anyways. Same with Branson Hickman. Hey, Branson, I'll come by and just snap it if you want me to, dude.
No, please.
We'll get you back out there in 3 weeks instead of 6, okay, buddy?
Yeah. But that's just demoralizing, man. I feel bad for Shane Beamer.
Yeah, I do too. I really love Shane Beamer. I wish he was still at OU. I think he's a hell of a coach. But
yeah,
I think he's going to do good things in South Carolina. He's getting things turned around. It's just untimely injury and
I didn't realize how much he looked like his dad.
Yeah.
He looks a lot like his dad. I miss his dad being a coach, man.
I want your thought. Yeah, me too. I want your thought process on this, though. I heard a lot of people talking about it, and I went back and kind of looked at some things, and I kind of agree. All around college football this past like couple weeks has just been horrendous officiating.
Well, horrendous officiating and just by the players, like dumb, like penalties, like Michael Tarquin got called twice on it. I thought one of them, like he should. I thought he was close enough to the belt line of the center, like it should have been called. But one of them, like he was way off, and it's like, what are you doing? You played so much college football.
Yeah,
there's been so many false starts. It's not just the college football though, too. It's NFL, and we'll talk about that when we get to our NFL recap.
Yeah, the fucking Packers can't buy a fucking drive without a penalty.
It's not just the Packers, though. I mean, it's like it's while we're talking about college football, but there's been just horrendous officiating, but just mental errors by some of these players. Like,
yeah,
I don't mind paying the players. I don't mind NIL. Like, I think, hey, it's like, it could be a good thing for the players, but like, play football. Like, quit with the mental errors.
Yeah, especially
there has been a horrendous officiating. Like, I completely agree with you that like the officiating has been terrible. I don't feel like some of the flags that are thrown shouldn't have been flagged, but
like in the OU game, they call out, was it Des Malone for holding downfield? Completely missed the fact that Demonic Williams and Kip Lewis on the same play were pretty much buried.
That's what we didn't even talk about with OU's defense. I counted on my hand 9 times that there wasn't a holding call on somebody, and the most egregious one was the hold on Kip Lewis.
Yeah. Especially because Kip's so small.
Yeah, I know. You don't have to hold him. Credit to him for being able to beat the man. But I mean, geez, like, the officiating has been very either lopsided or just horrendous.
Yeah. The Michael Tarquin thing, you think, especially for one, you're right, with his experience, that shouldn't happen. But for two, with his experience, that shouldn't happen twice in the same fucking drive.
Yeah. And like I said, one of them I felt like he was close enough to the bell line. But whatever, get closer, dude. I know you're trying to make sure you don't get beat, but
so there's one more game I want to get into, and then we'll kick it over to the pros. Florida State's 0-3. They're the first AP preseason top 10 team to start the season 0-3 with 3 losses to unranked opponents.
Yeah, I know. I was watching the South Carolina game and then also the Wisconsin game. And I decided I'm going to tune over to Comedy Central real quick and see what's going on there. And
Was it the Florida State games out there playing?
yeah, it was on Comedy Central.
Oh, wow.
Imagine being Florida State right now. Imagine being like the team, the fans. Well, not the team. I guess imagine being a Florida State fan. You've had basically 2 games at home against what you would say inferior talent, like inferior teams, right? Like we can comfortably say inferior, like
Oh yeah.
though, like in terms of talent and what the expectations were. You've had twice that you've just had some random guy just walk into your house, doesn't ring the doorbell, just they walk into your house, they fucking eat, they steal from your pantry, eat all your food, they don't even shit in your toilet, they shit on your fucking coffee table, they fuck your girl in your bed, and then leave. That's what it has to feel like.
They also spit
right?
in your beer as they're on their way out.
Yeah. Whatever they did, whatever they wanted. Like it never felt at one point that Florida State could come back and win that game.
No,
and it's really not all on DJ. Like DJ was not good, but it's not all on him. Like that offensive line, not good. Running game, not good.
Did you see the guy?
Terrible.
Did you see the guy that tweeted the DJ and DJ Uyunglele stands for Daniel Jones?
Yeah, I thought he had some. Honestly, like he's not very good, but he had some good throws. It was like that's what he can do if it could just all fucking come together. He had some nice throws in the game that were completions where it's like, if that came together, that's an NFL body and an NFL arm. Yeah. He just has shit for brains all of a sudden. Biggest downfall in my opinion. He was so good those 2 games at Clemson.
Yeah, he had 2 games at Clemson, and everyone was like, "Fuck me, they did it again." And then the season started, and they're like, oh, "Okay, thank God." Like ever since then, it's been like, okay, he was pretty dog shit. And then they tried it again with Cade Klubnik, and he blows cock too. But
it's like I'm telling you, like it's not all on DJ. Like this is
no, it's not.
Just
but
an
he's
overall
not good.
like. I'm an idiot. I'm a football idiot. I'll admit that. Like sometimes I just watch football and I'm like, hey, I know that play, or like,
yeah.
I don't know what's going on around the organization or around a program, so I can't speak as to like what's going on in a program's head. But like, who is on the hotter seat right now, Billy Napier or Mike Norvell? I guess the easy answer is Billy Napier, but
well, Billy Napier, because Florida called a board of regents meeting for Sunday morning. So
you think he tried to get him to be a part of it? Like he was like, "Hey guys,"
he's like, "Hey guys, can I stop on by? I got some things I want to say." Because I'll bring DJ.
I mean, that's the bright spot in the team right now.
Yeah.
I don't know who's worse. Like, I mean, it just looks all around bad for both Florida State and Florida. And Florida's the 2 top tier programs in the state of Florida look like
imagine
like a 5th grade team going up against a bunch of like senior high school varsity players.
Imagine if Mario didn't turn around Miami and like the king of Florida football right now was UCF after a 21-point comeback against TCU.
Dude, Gus Malzahn,
we were 1 Cam Ward
Gus
away.
Malzahn's won a national championship.
That is true. We were 1 Cam Ward away from UCF being the top team in Florida again.
Yeah, I know. He's looked good. I mean, he didn't have like the best game last week. He didn't need to be though.
No, they played fucking.
You're going against Ball State.
Yeah, they literally have ball in their name, dude. That's gay. Come on now.
Yeah, but like, I kind of called it with Mike Norvell.
He did.
After the Georgia Tech game. It was like he hasn't really been like he had one season where he just had a bunch of NFL players and just like a really good team. Jordan Travis should have won the Heisman, in my opinion, with like how Florida State's looked.
Yeah.
Since he hasn't been there, like
they should go back and give it to him.
I didn't really see like I thought Jordan Travis was a fantastic college quarterback. I'm not so sure he could be successful in the NFL as well. I mean, like if Aaron Rodgers, like barring catastrophic injury or he's ready to retire, like I think he might be out there, like he's ready to play for the Jets based And that's just on my simple assessment that Florida State has looked so bad without him.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. Like, I thought Keon Coleman, like, my assessment to him was he has the highest ceiling of all the rookie wide receivers, and he's going to struggle in his rookie year. That guy, he might be one of the best wide receivers to see in the NFL because wide receivers have not looked good without him.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe Johnny Wilson's better than I thought he was going to be. Like they had a bunch of talent on that team. It just hasn't looked good since. Like Florida State's in trouble.
Yeah, no, we kept making the joke about it, but it is so likely to be true. They could both be like 0-11 and 1-10 heading into fucking the backyard, whatever
I'm a
the fuck they
sicko
call
and I
that
would
dumb
watch
game.
that game.
I would watch every snap, dude. It'd be hilarious.
Who's the lesser of the fucking shit sandwiches, man?
Oh, it's certainly Florida State's the lesser of it. I think Florida State's a better team than Florida. Well, I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know. I do want to mention this though. This would be the last thing, and then I don't know if you have anything else on it, but we can head over to the NFL. Louis Riddick had a badass quote during the game. I don't know if you heard it or not, or if you really watched it. I was driving home listening to it, and he said, "Football is nothing but a series of character checks." And he said, "What are you going?" This was as Florida State is on like 3rd and goal, and Memphis is about to score. So football is a game. It's nothing but a series of character checks. What are you going to stand for? Who are you going to be? And how hard do you want to fight? And approximately 35 fucking seconds later, Memphis runs it into the end zone on power. It's a hell of a fucking quote, though. I think Louis Riddick is quietly one of the better color guys on TV. But anyways, you got anything else from
I didn't get to hear it. I made sure to mute it because, like, I mean, again, it'd probably just be like it just. I didn't really want to watch the game. I just kind of tuned in. I was like, how bad is this going to be?
fair.
Like, can Florida State like get it together?
Can't be worse than Tim Brando.
Yeah, I'm starting to like Tim Brando for how awful he is. Like, I'm starting to like the sicko in me is like, you need a Tim Brando game every once in a while. Just
how bad is it gonna get?
Just to appreciate like some of the good that we have.
That is true.
Another game, we don't really have to talk about this one too much because it really wasn't that exciting. Feel bad for Wisconsin. Tyler Van Dyke goes down. They weren't going to win that game anyway, but
it's
just like demoralizing. Like first drive too, like hurts his knee. Like that's like the worst thing that can happen. And credit to Locke, the backup quarterback, having to go out there against that team and like try to do something. Wisconsin never has like talent, I guess, on the offensive side of the ball, except for running backs. Their running backs are fumbling too. Like it was sad. Like that's demoralizing. I like Luke Fickell, but dude, you got to get some talent in that team. Like, you were able to develop talent at Cincinnati. Who, I guess, Braylon Allen.
Yeah,
Braylon Allen. He looks good for the Jets, but Maluzzi, I guess, is a good one.
I don't know,
man. Yeah, I mean, it's
just not something.
Good. You got to get a quarterback out there. You got to get some wide receivers. Like, got to get a good offensive scheme too. Like, I know Wisconsin, known for powerhouse, run the ball down your throat, but it's a different game now, man.
Yeah, and you think with Luke Fickell, he'd come in and change that, but that was kind of my hope with Luke Fickell, but it's not really working out. So
he's a good coach. I like him.
Yeah, no, he's a hell of a coach. That's what really sucks about it. But is what it is. Only so much you can do.
Jalen Milroe. I mean, if you put his body and his athleticism and how fast he is, and gave him Aaron Rodgers' arm talent and Aaron Rodgers' IQ, he'd be unstoppable.
Yeah.
He'd be the best quarterback prospect ever. Physically, he's an edge rusher playing quarterback. He's fast too. Like he's really fucking fast. He is athletic as fuck.
And
If he could just learn to throw the ball on the intermediate routes, on the comeback routes, just like the normal plays you're going to see in the NFL, and not just the deep throw when a guy's wide open.
You can say the same about Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Alec Pierce had to kind of help. Yeah, we'll get into that. Anyway, I like Jalen Milroe a lot. It's going to get tougher from here on out. Got to develop more as a passer. I was hoping to see that, but because that's what DeBoer's offense. That's when it looks the best is when you have a pass. Like look at what it looked like with Penix. So we'll see. Any other thoughts on like college football? Quinn Ewers got hurt.
Yeah, I heard he might not play in the ULM game.
Oh wow, that's terrible for Texas, right?
I know, right? With their gauntlet of a fucking schedule.
Yeah. But Mark's look good, dude.
He does. It pisses me off.
He stand up if I was wrong. Like he's athletic. He throws the ball on the run. He had a couple of incomplete passes where it's just timing stuff though. That's like correctable. That's what sucks.
Yeah, I know. I'd so badly, and not because it's a Manning, but simply because he's at Texas. I just so badly want him to walk out there and just look like shit. And every time he walks out there, I'm like, fuck.
That, you know what? When he takes over the starting job, and if everything, like all things equal, everything comes together for both Oklahoma and Texas, like that might be a good Red River rivalry, like in about a year or so.
Oh yeah. Just sucks we won't have Danny Stutzman.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Texas looked good. Yeah, Miami, absolutely easy win for them. Again, Notre Dame, 66 points is insane to me. Michigan, they got to figure something out. But they won against Arkansas State. I don't really have anything else. Tennessee,
yeah.
Please prepare for that game.
Please, God. Either way, I look at it because I'm
Dante Thornton.
Going to be very drunk.
Dante Thornton looks like the real fucking deal. He's got some stuff he has to clean up on like his route tree. But damn, that guy, he's lethal at the wide receiver position.
He's a motherfucker, man.
6'5", 214. He's built too.
Who do you think we line up against him? Dez?
Yeah, Dez.
Yeah.
You want a bigger guy on him. Yeah. Or if you're going to line up Woody Washington, like
press.
Jam him and have a safety. Yeah, press. Have a safety. Like back there that's ready. Have Billy Bowman ready to line him up.
Yeah. That's one thing I'm really excited for our preview in a couple of days when we record. I can't wait to try to build off this defense is going to do. Dude, I'm so stoked. But anyways, moving on.
Also, this is Squirrel White, by the way, sick name.
Yeah, I know. And, yeah. Moving on to NFL Week 2. Currently, Monday night game is going on right now. Atlanta's up 15-10. Just hit a 41-yarder to Darnell Mooney for a touchdown, and then they didn't get the 2-point conversion. Jason Kelce in the booth with his shirt undone, the gold chain, the chest hair hanging out, like a true fucking monster. I love Jason Kelce so much.
You got all the games pulled up, right?
I do.
Okay, I'm gonna put the game back on.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. I'll get into this one first, just to get it knocked out and out the way. Indianapolis Colts going to Green Bay, Wisconsin, taking on the Malik Willis-led Packers. The Packers ran the ball for a record 53 times. They ain't run the ball that much since 1978. Josh Jacobs, 32 carries, 151 yards. Malik Willis ran the ball pretty well. Was efficient within the offense, 12 of 14 for just over 100 yards, 122 yards and a touchdown. Beautiful ball on the out route to Dontavian Wicks. Never seen Matt LaFleur jump higher in my life, by the way. He got up there. Then he threw a jump ball up to Dobbs, and everyone was doing it. Dobbs just on that motherfucker's head, man. Went and caught a great ball. Not a great ball. Went and made a great play on the ball. But yeah, man. Packers 53 carries, 261 yards, and 232 of those yards came in the first half.
Yeah.
Indy
Yeah, no,
could not.
it was
stop
like a
it.
sicko like pick in my brain where it's like the Packers are gonna find a way to scheme this up and win the game. Wanted to try to get you rattled on the last episode where it's like, hey, are you scared that Malik is gonna have to do more? And in the back of my head, I know like they're gonna win this game, like or like they're gonna find a way. I thought they did an incredible job for Malik Willis. That pisses me off. Like it does. It pisses me off that you can have a coach that can scheme something up for your backup quarterback that has kind of struggled, and there's a lot of pressure on him to not go 0-2. I thought he did a good job throwing the ball. I thought Green Bay Packers did a good job running the ball. Lucas Van Ness was awesome in this game. Even though he didn't have, I mean, he had the big, what was it, the sack or the tackle for loss? It was a sack on Anthony Richardson, right? Where he rolled out. Was it? I don't
I
remember if
think
that was him or.
he got credited with the TFL because the team only had one official sack. It was on
Yeah. But he
on
was playing good. He was
Devontae White.
disruptive. Lucas Van Ness was disruptive. Uh, homeboy, what's his fucking name? Xavier McKinney was good. Like they did a really good job. Like I was impressed, and like I'll say it. I don't mind. I'm a Bears fan. Like they did what they needed to do. They got the job done. They won the game. I was honestly impressed. How many times do I can say that?
Did you see the the Quentin Nelson blindside block on Kingsley and Igbare?
No, I didn't see that.
So they roll out and JJ and Igbare, Kingsley, his first name's actually Kingsley, but he goes by JJ. He's getting blocked up by the tackle, and then he takes off to chase down Anthony Richardson. And Quentin Nelson comes into frame, and he's like, and like just hits him on the shoulder pads and like in his face, like doesn't like hit him, doesn't blow him up. He just puts his hands out and like sets him down on the ground. It was so funny. Defense played well. Eric Wilson had a pick. Let me give this stat to you. So the Packers had 7 interceptions all year last year. They have 5 through 2 weeks. Now one of them's a Hail Mary, garbage time pick, whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd count that as 4. I mean, I don't like that when a quarterback is like trying to make a play at the end of the game. Like I feel like that you have to count it as an interception, but I feel like that should just be like team interception, not against the quarterback. That's just my personal preference.
Yeah, but it's cool. Evan Williams got his first career interception, so
I have no reason to talk because we're gonna get into my game like later on, but I have yet like to see the growth from Anthony Richardson, and like we know he's got an arm, we know he's freakishly talented, but you got to hit guys like in. It's mainly just deep balls. That's really what it is.
He gets.
You can say what you want about my quarterback, but yeah, you can say what you want about my quarterback, or you can say what you want about Bo Nix today. Like Anthony Richardson, it feels like a Jalen Milroe, where it's just deep, like it's deep passes.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't watch like the entirety of the game. Like I watched Josh Jacobs break off some long runs. I watched them like the touchdown to Dontavian Wicks. Like I saw like the majority of the game because I wanted to know what it would look like. But like from what I saw of Anthony Richardson, well, first of all, credit to the Packers defense. They played I felt like they were really good on the line of scrimmage today.
Yeah.
Anthony, like, like if it's not on Anthony Richardson, then Shane Steichen, you need to scheme something up for him to get those quick, easy passes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, like honestly.
I think it genuinely is a thing where he's the best athlete on the field. He just doesn't have it mentally for the game, for the position. Yeah. I think if he had an extra 20 pounds on him and played tight end, I think he'd be the best fucking tight end in the NFL.
Well, I'm not just gonna completely like sell on him being a quarterback. Like I think he can still develop. I think he can develop. I mean, I'm not gonna. Oh my God, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Red zone. I think he can play quarterback. I think he's got the coach to do it. I think he can develop. I have yet to see it. You know what I mean?
That's
like
fair.
it's got to click. You know, like Adonai Mitchell, he's kind of struggling a little bit.
Yeah. His
Drop pass in
offense
that game.
isn't helping him. I mean, they can run the
Yeah.
ball. They couldn't really run the ball.
Throw it to the guys that you know are going to catch the ball. You know, like
Yeah.
Like you need to treat Adonai Mitchell at that point like, hey, I'm not going to target you if you don't catch the ball. Like you can try again. Like I'll throw it to you. Like I trust that you'll catch this one. He dropped a couple passes, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't you drop two?
I think he had two drops. He gave up on the wheel route where Keyshawn Nixon just completely let him go. He stopped running on that.
He did that a lot at Texas too. I don't know, like what's going on there mentally for him. Hopefully he can figure out because when Eddie Mitchell's playing good, it's fun to watch. He's a good receiver.
Player. Yeah.
Throw Cox the ball more. Get more Cox action.
I think so.
Riley Cox is just a reliable guy.
He is.
Cox.
Spoken like a true Bears fan.
Just throw the ball to him. Because he'll catch. I mean, was it Mo Wiley Cox that saved my franchise on that 4th and 20 2 years ago?
I think so.
Davis Mills? I think it was Mo Wiley. That's why I like the guy. But yeah, no, good win. I'm happy for you. You're not 0-2. That's important for you. It's important for your sanity for now while we do this podcast. So
and while we wait on Jordan Love to get back on this field.
As much as I would love for you to have lost that game, you needed this one.
I appreciate it.
Especially after what we saw from the Vikings.
Yeah, Are the Jets just like quarterback cursed?
I'm a classy guy.
You're a classy guy. I appreciate that. So the Jets just cursed at quarterback. I mean, Geno arguably has had a better career with Seattle than he ever was going to have or ever had with the Jets. Sam Darnold looks like he's just the only one that you can't turn to is Zach Wilson. But Sam Darnold looks like a brand new man. Maybe the Panthers are cursed too because next game we're going to get into Baker fucking Mayfield, man. He went in and he won that game for the Bucs.
I thought the defense, that was a key, in my opinion. I'm not taking anything away from Baker. He was incredible. Like he's the man. Like he does what he needs to do. Stat sheet doesn't blow you away, but just some of the individual effort plays that he had to make with Aiden Hutchinson having 5 fucking sacks on him.
Yeah, I know.
That right tackle, he had it rough. I mean, that's a rough game for him, but like for him to, battle through and just do what he needed to do to get the team a win, that's awesome. He needed that win. He had lost to the Lions twice since being at Tampa Bay. That's I think last year the marquee win for the Bucs was the playoff win against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Like that's like Todd Bowles' head coaching career hadn't really worked out. You needed to get a playoff win as a head coach, and he did that. I think this is the second marquee win for him.
Yeah.
Because the Lions are clearly a very good football team. They are. Even though they lost this game and there was just some stuff that happened that I know Dan Campbell's sick to his stomach at some of the stuff that happened. That he's going to blame himself for. Did you see his press conference?
Yeah.
His press conference is hilarious. He was like, yeah, the head coach, he was like, they needed to be better. The head coach, he needed to be better in that game. I like that from Dan Campbell. Like the
angry Dan Campbell's a scary fucking dude because he's going to get that team mentally right to go out and just kill people.
Well, it wasn't Dan Campbell's fault. It was the head coach. If you saw.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah,
you just said that. I'm sorry. Is it the same head coach that orders at Applebee's?
You're hurt at yeah, no, that's why you can't do a commercial yet. I think the commercial hurt him because now people are going to be talking about that. Yeah. People are going to make memes out of it. People are going to make memes out of it after that loss. They lost week 2 last year as well. So like if you're a Lions fan, you're fine. Like they lost to Seattle last year. Like that's a tough Buccaneers team, but your back end is hurt and yet you win the game. You do what you can to get that offense from that's a lethal offense. And Amon-Ra St. Brown did play better. Hope he's okay because he got hurt. But that's a marquee win. Like that's that's good for Todd Bowles. Like you're hurt everywhere. Winfield's out. Two of their starting corners are out. You go out there and you play well on defense against I think it's still a very good offense. Now, they had some troubles. Like, I mean, they've only scored, 2016? That's 36 points through 2 games.
Yeah.
26. I'm sorry, 26. 26 plus 16. I'm trying to do the math in my head. 42.
26 plus 16. Yeah.
So, touchdown. Eagles. Oh, no, that was earlier in the game. Sorry. Yeah, solid win. Baker, the rushing, the rush that he had to just good old big brother versus little brother, OU versus Oklahoma State on the run.
Making Malcolm Rodriguez. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Malcolm Rodriguez, but that's tough for him. And then he had the rushing touchdown. That's just great individual effort. But yeah, dude, Aiden Hutchinson had himself a day. Like that's gotta feel bad. That's gotta feel bad that like the Bucks walk into your home stadium and basically they say, yeah, it doesn't matter what you do. Like,
yeah,
like Dan Campbell was, his nuts are on the table, and Todd Bowles and some of the stuff that, or Baker's nuts, he hangs his nuts against Todd Bowles or against Dan Campbell. Sorry, like they're measuring.
There's a lot of nut talk going on right now.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, we got a little gay there for a second, but
I'm kind of into it.
Aiden Hutchinson, I thought the Lions are going to score at some point, and Jahmyr Gibbs had a few roll calls. Credit to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now they're 2-0.
Saquon just didn't get the touchdown, and now Jalen Hurts just stole from him. Bucks look good though, man. The Bucks look good. Too bad that they're not the king in the NFC South, because God damn it, dude, the Saints look fucking amazing.
You know what's interesting?
What's up?
The last game of the season last year, they scored 47 points. They scored 47 points last week. And had 49 this week.
44.
44?
Yeah.
Well, they still had 3 games in a row where they've scored more than 40 points. Like, also Derek Carr, he just seems a lot cooler now. Does he not? Like, is it weird? Is it weird to like think that Derek Carr is like cool? Because he does. He had the Michael Jackson celebration. Like he looked confident. He was throwing. Dude, he had some incredible throws in that game.
He's not a Raider. That's why.
Shaheed.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like early Derek Carr, like early like playoff Derek Carr. Like, with the Raiders, like it looked like that. Like Rashid Shaheed he's the best wide receiver on that team. I know Chris Olave's there.
Rashid Shaheed's the most dangerous. Oh, Michael Thomas. Hey, dude, he's got a very serious case of fucking turf toe. So,
he's had turf toe for like 5 years. So,
I mean, he has turf toe.
Sick player. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, no, he is. He's fantastic. And they still have Alvin Kamara.
You got to feel great. I mean, you don't even need anybody else on your fantasy team if you had Alvin Kamara.
I saw one of my buddies played against someone that had Kamara, Justin Jefferson. Who else do they have? It gets better. I think they had Kyler, and then they had one more other player, DK. They had Kyler, DK, Alvin Kamara, and fucking whoever the fuck else I mentioned. Justin Jefferson, and just murdered. Just absolutely murdered.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Cowboys fans, like, I guess it's good that you get a bad, what looks like a Cowboys playoff loss out of the way early.
Is it time to panic? I don't think so. I mean, they're 1-1, but.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's good to have, like, that looked like a good old fashioned, that looked like what happened against Green Bay in the playoffs, like 6 months ago. I guess it's good to get it out of the way now. But golly. And I don't think Dak played bad.
No, he
Dak
threw
put down at
some.
all.
He threw some suspect picks, but then again, they were in catch-up mode like as soon as the game started. So
Well, yeah, I'm okay with you trying to make a play. Like you're down, it's bad. Like sometimes you gotta throw the ball and try to make a play.
yeah,
So like you can call it what you want, but I don't ever I don't mind it unless it's just very egregious. Which one of the picks was. It was just like, dude, what are you doing? But the other pick, it was like, whatever. Like you got to try to make a play.
yeah, no, for
The
sure.
Alvin Kamara touchdown where he just the screen runs it all the way back across the field. It's dude, like there's got to be some old like former defensive players that are just like they
Yeah.
want to go through the TV and just choke all those.
Well,
plays
as a
that run.
Packers fan, we have that infamous clip of him running the screen back during the COVID year and then getting hit by 15 players and not going down. So I felt it in my soul.
18-15, Eagles up, and now they're going to kick it away.
6.5 minutes, yeah. Next
Oh,
game.
yeah, next game. But there's not really much talk about the Saints. They look like the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, they just kicked
They
ass.
absolutely shit pumped the Cowboys, plunged them down the toilet, and now the Cowboys they have some demons to exercise.
Yeah. Yeah. Start throwing around all that money and now you start playing like dog shit. It's a little worrisome. Next game we want to get into though. Aaron Rodgers gets his first win as a New York Jets Jet. Brandon Allen becomes the youngest NFL player since 1428 to fucking score a touchdown.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
What was it Archie Herbert or what was that? What was his name?
I don't know. It happened in what, like 1939 or something
It
crazy like
was
that?
yeah, back like the Pilgrims.
Yeah, yeah. It was whoever landed on like Plymouth Rock. That's who did it last. So,
You know what's crazy?
so
They were both the exact same age, the exact same by the day.
really.
They were the exact same age. They were both from Wisconsin, or like they both played at Wisconsin, like
Oh wow.
somewhere in Wisconsin.
Is Brandon Allen the prettiest dude in the NFL?
He's like an anime character.
Dude,
Like he's like, I'm just your average 14-year-old. Like I'm just your average like
yeah.
17-year-old running back. And he's just like looks like he's on roids. He is fucking built. That guy.
Yeah. He's a beautiful man.
Yeah. But
He's a beautiful. Yeah.
Looks good. He's good at football too.
He's
Looks good in a jersey.
He does.
Aaron Rodgers, you can tell the mobility still isn't there. I thought the Jets offensive line, they did what they could. Like they looked good. Later on. I mean, obviously, like in the beginning,
Yeah.
if you're a Jets fan, like in the first half of like the 10 game slate, that's gotta be like it almost seemed like time is a flat circle. Patriots are still good, Jets still stink. Like that's gotta be the most I couldn't imagine what was going on through a Jets fan's head at that moment. Like that had to feel terrible. It's like there's nothing that could happen. Like the Jets are just cursed. I actually have a buddy that's a Jets fan. I didn't text him. I did not text him in the first half.
It's smart.
Because I know he was watching.
Himself.
I know he was watching that Patriots game while he was watching the Jets game. And luckily, maybe the curse is broken just because of what ended up, coming in the second half.
Did you is Will Levis the best, like the most photogenic person in the NFL?
I like Will Levis a lot. He's cool as shit. Like he just seems like a cool as shit kind of dude.
Yeah.
He looks good as a quarterback. Like he's solid. He's built.
The mayonnaise and the coffee thing's still weird, but
I don't care. Like whatever. At this point, like the photo of him like with like the two girls on his couch. Was one of them his sister, or did he have like two girlfriends? I don't know. Pimp, guy's badass. He also has a sex tape out there. Good for him. He releases quick.
He does.
But
quicker than he throws the ball.
Levis, he just seems like a cool shit dude. Like he looks like a bro, and I like Will Levis. I'm a fan of his personally. There has to be a moment in like it's been back-to-back weeks now where it's just like just take the sack.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, just come on, man. Take the sack of the interception to Tyreek Stevenson against the Bears, and then like, hey, man, you don't have to do that. Like Brian Callahan, like at that moment, you got to take away his mayonnaise at that point. Like, hey,
Yeah.
like you like for every time you just like for how good you can look on the field, like anytime you just make the most egregious mistake or just like boneheaded play, like we're gonna take away your jar of mayonnaise. Like you just have to drink your coffee how it is. And then we're gonna make you eat a banana the way that you're supposed to eat a banana. You can't eat it from the side anymore like you want to. Like you got to punish him somehow.
You can't eat like a horse anymore, buddy.
Like what? What was he doing? Like that play is funny though. Like the spread cobra, and then that, like that just eclipses. Like it doesn't even. It takes away like how awesome of the throw, the deep throw that he made. How
Yeah.
awesome that was. Like completely negates it. And
Yeah.
now he's a meme. It's I guess like he wants the attention. He's like, hey, I want the all eyes on me. And then like
Yeah.
he's gonna come out next week and he's gonna look fucking awesome. And then it's like, oh, maybe
No, he's not. He's not because they play Green Bay next week. He's gonna look like shit. Don't say that.
Will Levis, you have to look amazing. You have to look amazing.
Imagine him just have like a Kyler Murray.
That's a
type
tough
day.
task. For as much as you hate Josh Myers or as much as you love Josh Myers and how incredible of a center he is, that's a tough ask for Tavondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons.
Did you see the Josh
Coming down your throat.
Myers? Did you see him puke on the football?
I was actually I forgot that. Fuck.
I did
That was
too.
awesome. Like Malik, when they asked like, hey, next time that happens, do you want us to like call a timeout or stop the play? And he was like, yeah, I'd kind of like for you to do that next time.
Yeah, yeah. And it was supposed to be a pass play. They had to dial it up for that, and he got the ball, and he was like, "No, dude," and just ran with it.
That was awesome. Like,
that's hilarious.
Puke and rally is awesome. I love those videos. I guess it's just me, but it's like football guy when I see like a lineman like throwing up when they're lining up.
They're the best, bro. Like the Tennessee Alabama one a few years back when Hendon Hooker and Tennessee went in and beat them in Bama, and or no, that was at Tennessee. That was at Tennessee when they beat them. But still, those are the best. The lineman puking. It's the best way to establish dominance.
Yeah. I have some concerns after watching that game because the Jets offensive line, I mean, they weren't great against, they did what they needed to do. Like they held point. But like that defensive line brutalized Chicago's interior. So like we got to figure something out, and we'll get in that game in a little bit. But like the Jets for the most part in the second half, they did what they needed to do. You have to protect Aaron Rodgers. He just isn't as mobile as he used to be. There's a reason Green Bay was like, "Hey, we're gonna go with the young guy."
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the Achilles injury. Aaron Rodgers, he looked good for the most part. But there were the delay of game. Like, how do you know you're Aaron Rodgers? Like, you played so much football. Like, how is it the Jets? Is it the curse of the Jets for him to not see the play clock?
It might be.
He lost track of time. I guess that happens when you're in so many darkness retreats, but like sometimes you lose track of time. But
yeah,
like that delay game was almost catastrophic.
Yeah.
I think he knew it was on him too because he walked away and he was like, "Fuck."
Yeah. Did you see the thing they were talking about though? Wherever Breece Hall came to him and was like, "Hey, if they put in poor Kenneth Murray, they have to line up against Breece Hall." Wide out, that's tough. But Breece Hall came back in and was like, "Hey, if they give me the backer again, throw it to me." And he was like, "Okay." And then, sure as shit, they motion him out there, get the exact same look. And Aaron didn't even throw that great of a ball, and Breece Hall still went up and got it. I think Breece Hall. What's being missed in this is how good Breece Hall still is.
I think the curse of what Oklahoma used to be as a defensive staff is just like haunting Kenneth Murray because like there are flashes and then there are times where it's like loses his eyes, loses his assignment.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. He's got some stuff that he needs to work out because Kenneth Murray's he looks too good in the jersey. Yeah, he looks too good in a jersey and as a linebacker to not be great.
Yeah, no. completely. Want to go ahead and move on to this game though. Get through these a little bit quicker. Maybe the surprise of the weekend. One of them. The Vikings. They won and it was a 6-point game, but it was in control. Minnesota was in control that entire game.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold. He's back. It took him 7 years. He's finally here. It's like you mentioned earlier. That has to be demoralizing for the Jets. Like Sam Darnold, looks better now. I figured he would look better. I figured he would because Kevin O'Connell, good coach. He's got the talent at wide receiver, which got some issues now that they got to work out with what happened in the game. Yeah. But he looked good. That throw to Justin Jefferson, first of all, fantastic. Justin Jefferson is so good at being able to stretch the field, and he is so good at being able to find the end zone, even when there's nothing there. But it was a dot by Sam Darnold. That was an awesome play. 49ers, no reason to panic. It's not.
No.
It's not okay, they had the fumble. Who was it that fumbled at the goal? Was it Brock Purdy or was it Jordan Mason that fumbled and the Vikings? One of them ended up being recovered, and it's like sometimes it just gets away from you, and so no reason to panic. I think you're allowed to you're kind of allowed to basically be on. I don't want to say cruise control, but you're allowed to. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but you can have games like that and be okay because of all the back. It just adds another dynamic layer to the 49ers offense, so they should be okay. We still have yet to see Brandon Ayuk. Still have yet to see Brandon Ayuk. It'll get there. They're getting there. That's really all I had. I had him in my dick pics. I thought it was an easy cover, but Vikings, dude. Good for them. You can move off of Danielle Hunter and Dallas Turner. Fits right in.
Vikings are the top of the NFC North right now. I thought they're going to be bottom feeders in the North the entire season. But anyways, it's only week 2. Moving on, we had an overtime game this weekend. We had the Seahawks and the Pats. It was a pretty close game throughout. But Seattle was just able to pull away. And once it got into overtime, I think they both swapped possessions, and then Seattle went down, kicked game-winning field goal. Not a whole lot really to get into on that one. DK Metcalf played pretty well. 10 catches, 129 yards, and 1 touchdown. Want to shout out another Sooner alum here. Austin Seibert, 7 for 7, 21 points. That's all I needed to beat the Giants. Now the Giants, Graham Gano pulled his hamstring, I think.
Got hurt. Isn't it so fun when a kicker gets hurt, in the game, and you got to figure out what the fuck you're gonna do?
Yeah, you just gotta watch the team scramble for fucking and just trying to figure out.
Who's the running back for the Texans? Former Badger.
Wale,
is it? Is it Agumbawale?
I don't remember. Or Eric Reed. Eric Reed can kick fuck field goals too.
Yeah, him. And then the Texans. I want to see what can you do when a kicker gets hurt? That's always. I tuned into that game after that. I was like, oh, we got a situation. Yeah. Malik Neighbors, that dude, guy's incredible.
Tough drop though. Late. It's tough drop, but he still played incredible.
I remember because I didn't watch too much of the game. I did want to watch Jaden Daniels to see how he would do. I wanted to tune in and see what it would look like. It's funny because it's one of those moments where you tune back and forth, from when Red Zone, when they're tuning back and forth from the game. The score was tied 18-18. I'm like, that feels like such a normal score for Commanders Giants game. 18-18 has to have been a score that's happened so many times in that game, and it's not it only can happen in that game. That was really my only takeaway. Awesome.
Does it terrify you?
When we were talking about, good.
Does it terrify you every time Jaden Daniels gets hit? Because it looks like a car crash. You hear NFL players talk about retired guys I would just get car crashes 50 times a day on the game, and then have to go home and do it all again in 7 days. When Jaden Daniels gets hit, it looks like he gets hit by a truck like every single time.
It's like a boulder like rolling down a mountain, and there's nothing you can do to get out of the way.
Yeah, he just gets rocked every time.
He's a tough motherfucker, though.
He is. He stands up, keeps playing.
They're gonna call that back. I don't think that was a first down. Yeah, he was down.
Yeah.
Did they call it a first down?
On the field, I think so.
Damn, 2-minute warning. Falcons have to get a stop.
Yeah, they're going to. Yeah.
Their defense is low key, like pretty good.
Yeah.
Raheem Morris, he's doing a good job. Anyways, back to that game. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, earlier we were talking about in college when we were doing our college football recap, the amount of like horseshit officiating, but also the amount of like undisciplined by some of these players. How many times did Washington false start in the red zone? That would have been a touchdown.
God, I know.
It's just like that's got to suck. I mean, I think they can clean it up, but it's just stuff like that. Like, well, I feel like there's been a lot more just undisciplined penalties than there's ever been. Like, it's got to be up, like at an alarming rate. Can we check a stat? Is there a stat for that? We got to be able to find a stat and bring it on the next episode.
Someone's gonna have one. We'll have to try to find it.
There's gonna be a stat. We'll bring it up on the next episode. But I feel like every game I've watched, there's been a lot of it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Even the disciplined teams. So I don't know. Not really much on that game. It's a total Commanders Giants. Commanders had to exercise their demons. They did. They finally beat Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
They finally beat Jones.
Yeah, I know. That's a wild fucking statement.
I'm sure they beat Daniel Jones in the past. It just feels like the past 2 years they haven't been able to beat the Giants.
Moving on to the next game. Not really a whole lot to talk about on this one, except for the fact that Quentin Johnston still has hands. J.K. Dobbins is back. Chargers blew out the Panthers 26-3. Apparently Bryce Young's being benched. Don't know if it's necessarily
Red Rocket.
The Red Rocket, man. The Red Rifle. But anyways, moving on.
I like Adam Thielen being a good teammate because there was a route. Bryce missed him. He thought the route was going to develop earlier. It didn't. He took his eyes off of him. Adam Thielen's wide open. Ends up getting sacked. But I like Adam Thielen being like, okay, I should have done a better job. I didn't play the best of my abilities to be good for Bryce.
At least a vet, dude.
Yeah. It's just there was some conversation after the Bears game that I'll get into it, but good to see a wide receiver taking up for his quarterback.
Okay, all right. I like where this is going.
When the quarterback is clearly he's broken.
Yeah, Bryce.
He's broken.
The Browns went into Trevor Bank Stadium and beat the Jags 18-13.
Ended up being the Deshaun Watson sexual assault stadium.
Yeah. Yeah, it's don't touch me there. Bank Stadium.
You had one. Yeah. I didn't get consent.
Yeah.
Dude, you had one job, Jacksonville. You had one job. You give the Browns a win.
Yeah. Did you see Deshaun Watson posted for his birthday? And
was it a nude?
No.
Was it him
No, but he limited the comments. No one's allowed to go comment on his page or say anything. It's just funny.
The first comment, I would have wished I could have seen the first comment on that.
Yeah.
I think Trevor Lawrence had 16 yards. I think in the first quarter or the first half. I don't remember. It kind of seemed like he only had 16 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
Wasn't very good. Jags.
They started to kind of mount a comeback, but just couldn't get it done. The Browns defense is still legit, obviously. Brian Thomas looks like a dude, though. We said it last week.
Brian Thomas is that guy.
He's a man.
I think Gabe Davis ended up getting hurt in the game. He was either hurt or tired, but I remember watching him walk off the field slowly and limping. That's concerning, I guess, for the Jaguars. Evan Ingram didn't play, right? He was out.
Yeah, he was out. He hurt his leg or foot or something like that in warm-ups, ankle, I think. But
that's the worst. That's the worst when a guy gets hurt in warm-ups and it's I just fucking put you in my parlay to win or at least to cover. You couldn't do that. Whatever.
It's what it is. Moving on, maybe the most surprising game outside of the Vikings Niners. I actually put this one on picks. Pretty proud of myself. Didn't think it was going to go this way, but I did expect the Raiders to cover. And not only did they cover, they fucking won. They went into Baltimore and won. My feeling on this was with how bad the Baltimore Ravens offensive line was, I felt like the Raiders could really control them. And they did. They got a lot of pressure on Lamar. Their run game wasn't too dangerous. And Minshew Mania, man. It led them to a win.
Divine Diablo is one of the sickest names in football.
Oh, so good.
Divine Diablo is that's such a sick name. But yeah, Antonio Pierce 1-1 against the brothers.
Yeah.
1-1 against Harbaugh brothers. So
yep.
Good for him to get that win.
And what's crazy is John Harbaugh is the one that's 0-2 right now.
It was crazy how many games were tied, like in that stint. Like the Raiders.
Yeah, there was the witching hour was games. Legit.
Yeah, the witching hour fucked me almost. And he kind of did. It bent me over. It was ready to go, and then I somehow escaped on some of the games. But
it wasn't Deshaun Watson. The witching hour was not Deshaun Watson, so you're able to escape. And
it was Shannon Sharp instead.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if it was Shannon, I don't think you would have wanted to leave.
Yeah. Well, there were 3 games that were tied in that final stint. So I thought the Ravens would way to win, but Antonio Pierce, we like the guy. We think he's a good coach.
Yeah.
So, and Gardner Minshew, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he got the win. Happy for Devontae Adams too. He contributed in a big way.
I am too.
Oh, no, this is I think the one of the 2 notes that I had on this game. Alexander Madison, newborn baby touchdown.
Yep. Happens every season.
We know ball.
We do. We know ball.
Stats are the best.
They are. Numbers never lie. Remember that on ESPN when they do numbers never lie? That's kind of like a cool thing.
Yeah. Did they get rid of Come On Man? I haven't seen Come On Man in a while. Which, I mean, it wasn't like the best, but.
I don't know what you're searching on the internet, but that's kind of gross, too.
No, you got me.
Yeah. You're saying it's on your chest.
I'm not looking up Carl Nassib Brazzers videos or Grindr videos.
Carl Nassib and Michael Sam.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Marvin Harrison Jr. may have just established himself in the NFL. Hell of a start of the game, man. That was insane.
If you tune into the PigSkin podcast and you want to figure out what prop bets, just come to us. Or Pardon My Take. They do a really good job as well. Shout out to them. But yeah, Marvin Harrison established himself as the dude. Kyler Murray said, hey, I should probably throw the ball to that guy more. He also said, how sick would it be if I just was a highlight reel for the entire game?
Yeah.
Kyler for as much talk as we give to Patrick Mahomes and what Caleb Williams was able to do in college and some of the stuff that you see, he's got to be the most fun quarterback to watch.
When he's healthy, on that. It's fantastic.
It's the meme of the Simpsons. Was it the Simpsons or it's Patrick Starr? He's sitting like this, and then all the knives are pointed at him, and you have to stand on something that. Yeah. What's an unpopular opinion that you'll stand on? Kyler Murray is the most fun quarterback to watch when he's healthy.
Yeah.
The guy, you can't tackle him. You're better off just hoping you can catch him from the blind side.
Yeah.
And even then, it's Spidey sense. He's got eyes in the back of his head.
Not like Call of Duty, man.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to figure out okay, what time does the beta end, or when does Call of Duty come out? It comes out in October, so if you have Kyler Murray in your fantasy, continue to have him because he's going to be dialed in until Call of Duty comes out. So yeah.
But Kyler Murray, hell of a game.
It's just a spectacle. He had the one that he threw to Marvin Harrison, where he's scrambling everywhere. They're backed up in the goal line, and he threw it to Marvin Harrison. I remember my parents were watching with me, and I'm like, you remember this kid from OU, right? And they were like, I think I watched him a little bit, and I was like, he's still doing it in the NFL. My mom, she was just like, "Oh my god, that was the greatest play I've ever seen anybody ever make," and I'm like, "That's a very normal Kyler Murray play."
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I've been conditioned to, like with these OU quarterbacks. Like they make the impossible look easy with some of their Houdini acts.
The first one to Marvin Harrison, though, where he just dropped it in the bucket on the back in line, is the most
Credit to
Kyler
Marvin
Murray.
Harrison for being able to extend too.
Oh, 100%. Beautiful,
That's
beautiful
tall.
play.
Guy's
But
long. He's like looked like a noodle. I mean, he got every single bit of it.
And he was mad at himself.
Like a cat,
Kyler only had 4. Yeah.
Stretch a cat all the way out.
Yeah.
Maserati Marv, he's back.
And he was mad at himself too, because Kyler only had 4 incompletions, and they were all 4 thrown towards MSJ. So, but yeah, the Cardinals looked like they got things dialed in on offense. Now the Rams don't have the most talented defense in the world, but they're not bad. You know what I mean?
Also hurt everywhere.
They're also
too. Like
beat the hell
both ends of the ball.
Their problem is they're just not playing Drake Stoops, man. That's the main problem.
Oh, Barkley.
Uh-oh.
So if they kick a field goal here and you give Atlanta, can Atlanta win the game down 15? Yeah, they can. They can win the game if they go for the field goal.
They'll have a minute 35 seconds. Yeah, about a minute 35. Moving on, Steelers Broncos took the under in this one. Was probably the safest pick that anyone could ever make. There's 2 perfect bets that are always going to hit in the NFL, okay? The under on a game where Justin Fields is a starting quarterback, and the Chiefs getting a perfectly timed penalty when they need to go win the game. Whether or not it is a penalty, they always get it. But, yeah, I mean, Steelers, Broncos, both
I think Justin Fields had about 100 yards in the first half throwing.
Yeah. What are you in the game with? Another 117.
Dude, Bears, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube comments, everything was like, I mean, it was cope. Like it was hard cope. Like after that game last night, I was seeing some outlandish shit, which I love from the fan base. Like sometimes you just got to let it out when you lose a game. Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like OU Twitter does the same thing. Like the LSU game, we knew we were going to get absolutely smoked by one of the best teams in college football history.
Yeah.
But like you said, you have to let it out too. Like sometimes you just have to be like, fuck everything, you know?
Yeah.
You say outlandish shit like Lincoln Riley, like he's as cooked as fucking brisket. Jalen Hurts, you know, the guy can't fucking see like headlights coming towards him.
Remember at the end of that game, Spencer Rattler came in, made like 3 passes, and everyone was like, "Yes, the guy." And then it all went to shit. Oh man.
And they weren't even great passes too. I remember he went out there and when he was trying to throw the ball,
one was like a flat route, like.
Well, one of them like he jumped, like he was like. Yeah, he scooted out of the, and he like, tried to make a pass that like it was like watching like Bo Nix trying to make that pass, like because that's what Bo Nix is known. But like, well, one of them was good actually. We're getting way off topic, but
way off topic.
Yeah, I like Justin Fields, but I don't know. Also, I don't really know how to grade Bo Nix on this game because the Steelers defense is just so fucking good.
Yeah.
The Steelers defense is good, and like he had some throws in the game where it was like, yeah, that looks good. That looked like what Bo Nix can do.
He threw a lot of yards.
The penalty in the end zone was like the perfect representation of why he might be the next like Jameis Winston, where like he thinks he can make all the throws, or like any other quarterback that like he threw the ball and it was. I appreciate him trying to give his wide receiver a chance, but it was just funny. It was like that looked like Bo Nix at Auburn.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Sometimes he'd get away with it, but sometimes it's like, yeah, he probably shouldn't have thrown that one.
Yeah,
but it's okay.
Don't say anything. I'm behind you. Want to go ahead and move on to
this game.
The next game. Can you throw it to Drake London, please? Holy fuck, my fantasy team really needs it. Or just Bijan. Bijan would be great too. Just let him out. Bengals Chiefs. Like we said last week, like you said last week, the Bengals know how to play the Chiefs, and it came down to the wire. It was pass interference. He got there early and hit the receiver, but the Chiefs do always get the calls when it matters.
It sucks. And if you're a fan base, if you're the Bengals, absolutely get pissed off about it. Like
Yeah.
it would be, I wouldn't have gotten mad. One fan base is getting mad about that pass interference. Either the Chiefs are pissed that it's not called, and they go to Twitter, and you know how Chiefs fans can be, but they're spoiled, so they whatever. The Bengals fans were absolutely fucking pissed about it, and as you should be. Like it's just one of those moments. Like it happens in football. Like the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, they're a thief of joy. Just what it is. They are an absolute thief of joy, and like that's what good teams do. Like I can name a handful of times where Chicago's had one go their way and couldn't capitalize on it.
Oh yeah.
So it's what happens. Jamar Chase, he had a face mask go against him the first time by Trent McDuffie. The second time is when he all gears. Like it was like smoke coming out of his ears. Like the guy just absolutely lost control. Ended up getting the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. I understand why he was pissed because I don't think it was a face mask. Oh, Drake London. There you go, buddy.
Yes. Let's go, bro. Yeah, I am a little bit behind, but that's my fantasy wide receiver. Oh, what a route, dude. Oh my God. That just won me 2 fantasy games right there.
Kirk Cousins.
Kirko Bangs, baby.
Wow. I can hear my mom in there cheering. She fucking hates the Eagles as a Cowboys fan. And she likes birds. She likes the dirty birds. So, who's the dirty bird in this one?
Probably Atlanta. Whichever city has more shootings per capita.
Or fucking STDs, and I think that's
or flipped cars.
Yeah,
no, that's Philly. Flipped cars was Philly.
So anyway, awesome. Wow, what a game! Like what a comeback. Raheem Morris.
Wait,
that's
sportsmanlike conduct. That's tough.
Yeah, it's not after the play.
That's hilarious. My buddy Jonah, I'm playing against him in fantasy, and I needed Drake London to hit that.
Anyways. I thought Joe Burrow was awesome in this game.
Yeah,
Cam Taylor-Britt had what could be up for debate as interception of the year. That one-handed interception was nasty. I watched it live. It was sick. They got the extra point. The glazing continues to happen for the Chiefs with Tony Romo. You just know Tony Romo's going to do it when he's calling a Chiefs game.
Yeah.
There was a play.
It's like Chris Collinsworth watching Josh Allen play.
Or no, it's Chris Collinsworth watching Patrick Mahomes. It's the same thing with
it's the exact same thing.
Tony Romo. There was a holding call that negated what was a sick interception it was before the one-handed interception. It was negated. It was Tony Romo going, Travis Kelce saved the day. He's the hero on this play. He's the reason that or whatever. It literally was just him getting held on a play. He was just doing what he was supposed to do, and the defender just makes a mistake. And it was just like, oh my God, Travis Kelce saved the day. You know, you would have thought he caught like a 30-yard pass, making guys miss all over the field and scoring a touchdown. It's just like the ultimate like glazing that we do for the Chiefs. Like we're so desensitized to like the Chiefs can make mistakes or like simple plays can happen. But like because it happens for the Chiefs, it's like, oh my God, this team, they're different. Which I guess it comes when you win 3 Super Bowls. Another moment where it happened, Patrick Mahomes, he's human. He's gonna miss throws. He had a throw to Travis Kelce. I think it was on an out route. I don't remember. Was it an out route? I don't know what it was. He just threw it to the dirt. Like he just completely missed on the throw. And it's fine. He's Patrick Mahomes. He's human. He can make mistakes like that. Tony Romo was basically after the throw that was a smart football play by Josh Allen or by Patrick Mahomes. That's winning football right there. What?
Yeah.
I mean, I completely was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what about that was winning football? Like, was it supposed to be an incompletion? Like, was that a part of the play? Like, it was a bad throw. Like, I don't know, man. Tony Romo, he's something else.
Yeah, no, he is. He is. Him and Collinsworth, just the glazing of Patrick Mahomes. It's. I wonder what it's going to be when Dylan Morello gets in the league.
Good. Did you watch this game?
Which one? Bears Texans?
The Bengals Chiefs.
I took a nap after the morning games, but I watched part of it.
You mentioned Collinsworth. Yeah. I got some things to say about that. Yeah. When we get to that game, I got. So you watched that Bengals Chiefs game?
Yeah.
Okay. And we know about Tony Romo, and sometimes it's how he can glaze the Chiefs. It's part of like what he does now. It's just whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them a nice old fashioned.
Yeah. Exactly.
But the Chiefs find a way to win. It's what they do. That's what good teams do. Harrison Butker, game-winning kick. Doesn't respect women, but can make kicks.
I was just about to make a comment on it.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something like clever to say, but I couldn't at the time. I'm still watching this game and thinking about the game that we're going to talk about next. But yeah, the Bengals, they always play the Chiefs tough. If you're a Chiefs fan and you're Andy Reid, even if you're Patrick Mahomes, like I think if you gave them like truth serum, like just shot them up with sodium pentothal and said, hey, who's your toughest out, like in the playoffs, like what's a team that you have to get past to get to the Super Bowl? I think it'd be the Bengals. Yeah. You can make an argument for the Texans. Texans are still very young. They're very fucking good, but like I think the Bengals that's a team that like they're always tough. Like they could have easily lost that game had they not had that go their way.
Yeah.
And I think they knew that too. I mean, absolutely. Those teams don't like each other. I don't know if do Mahomes and Burrow, like, do they not like each other? It's always just like a simple, like, hey, good game, and then they just walk away.
Yeah, I think they want each one of them to just die.
Yeah.
Well,
certainly. Well, we had another Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift not sitting in the same box.
Ooh.
Yeah. They're feuding.
Bad vibes?
Yeah. Taylor Swift, big Kamala Harris fan. Brittany Mahomes, big Trump fan. So colliding feuds. Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's a tough one.
I really don't. We can go ahead and get into the next game. It's fine. I mean, do you have anything else on the late slate?
No, not a whole lot. I mean, super fun to see Kyler ball out like that. Chiefs game went exactly how I expected it to. Great call by you on that cover, though. I mean, that was a smart one.
I do have one on like Sean Payton. Is that the coach that I'm thinking of? Is it Sean Payton or is it yeah, I guess it's kind of like it is Sean Payton. It's the same thing that I get on to Matt LaFleur about. You kick a field goal in the fourth quarter when you should be going for the touchdown because you have no idea if you're going to be able to take the lead back. And it's what happened. There's a lot of games where you can point out for the Packers and Matt LaFleur where he does that.
Yep.
Sean Payton has that problem too.
Yeah.
You're down 13-3. Like you probably should be going for the touchdown. I know you have a rookie quarterback and he drives you down to the red zone. Like you got to take a shot. Mm-hmm. I know one of them ended up in an interception, but draw something up, make it easy for him. You're Sean Payton.
Give him a chance. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, give him a chance. Like draw something up, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like the Broncos defense is still pretty good.
Yeah.
So like going for the field goal there, like okay, you make it 13-6. You get the ball back again.
Also,
you should have went for the touchdown. You should have went for the touchdown.
Should have went for the touchdown, but also should have went for the onside kick.
Yeah, I agree.
Either way, it's going to be a long field you got to make. You might as well give yourself the best shot possible to get the ball back.
Yeah, that's it. That's all else I had left.
So, do you want to? I'll let you take. I'll get my few cents in real quick before I let you go. Texans 19, Bears 13. And I know you're going to get into it. Offensive line looked horrendous for Chicago. CJ Stroud played well. CJ Stroud got out of the pocket, was able to extend and make plays when necessary. Joe Mixon played well, got hit with the hip drop tackle, came back in, tried to keep going on it, couldn't do a whole lot more. Caleb actually finishes y'all's leading rusher. But I know you have some things to say. I was impressed. I mean, I think the Bears have one of the sneaky best well, I don't even think sneaky anymore at this point. The Bears have one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
Secondary looks great. Front four looks good. Linebacker core is maybe the weakest part, but they're still very good. You know what I mean? And I think it's just weak because they're not the most talented deep position on the team. But y'all look fantastic on defense, and I think it's only a matter of time, unfortunately, before Caleb gets it going. I found myself like the Bears to do something, and I'm like, fuck, like that was kind of like the Tyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, fucking Spider-Man thing. I was like, fuck, that was kind of cool. Like, dude, I just
that is pretty cool celebration that they do. Like Kyler Gordon, the Spider-Man.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think it was a good game. I think it was a good Sunday night game. Um, Texans are just a much better team.
Yeah.
I think the Texans defense is just much better than the Bears offense at this point. So, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and take it away.
Well, I mean, it went about the way that I thought it was going to go. I said last week, I just hope to see like growth in areas that we need to see growth.
Mm-hmm.
Defense, it's like you said, they played well. They have this problem for the past. I mean, this is 2 games now where they start slow. Guys are missing assignments. They're lining up wrong. Tariq Stevenson, like he can't be left on an island. Like you got to have somebody there to help. And they cleaned that up in the second half, and so it looked better. There's just like small things that could be corrected, and I think it'll get better as the season goes on. It was a winnable game at one point. I never felt like we could come back and win just because some of the woes that we're facing on offense. It's unfortunate, but it's just how it goes. The Texans do a really good job at spreading the field, or at least like looking like they're going to go one way and then go the complete opposite way on some stuff. They scheme things up to get their running backs going. CJ Stroud, no sophomore slump from him. He looked really good against a really good, now veteran defense. Throwing on the run, looks cool, looks calm. He made some really good throws. And dude, Nico Collins, that guy went from what we talk about Quentin Johnson as a rookie. Nico Collins went from that to he could potentially be the best receiver on this team, if not like a top 10 receiver in the NFL. He's massive. He's good. He made some incredible catches. The one-handed catch that Matt Eberflus called the timeout at the end of the game so that the booth could review it. There's a lot of things that I wish the defense would do early to keep it more reasonable to where the game doesn't get out of hand. It doesn't get to a point where you have to try to play catch up. I know the Texans do a good job of scheming things up. We were lucky that Tank Dell had a few drops. Couldn't really get him going too much. They covered Stephon Diggs well. He had a couple of catches in the game, but Nico Collins, that guy's a killer. There's one play on the defense, and this is the Chris Collinsworth moment where I just I was pissed. It pissed me off. They were playing. It's 4th and 1. We get the third down stop. It's 4th and 1, and they run simple like it's a play action boot concept, right? Rolling to the left, or the offensive line's rolling to the left. They hand it off like it's going to be like a fake dive. They're handing it to Joe Mixon like he's going to go right up the middle to find a gap. And it's a play action, just simple throw to Stover on the end, and he ends up getting a big chunk play. It was the easiest read. Like I mean, even I'm watching it, and I'm like, that's exactly what they're going to do. Like the linebacker has to focus on the tight end. That like they're going to do something. Like if they hand it off, like it should be just fine. Like we should be okay for assignment sound. Chris Collinsworth, like. But he was like, oh, Bobby Slowick, that guy's a genius, and his bag of trips absolutely fooled the defense. And it's like, any competent defense in that moment would have read that. Like, that's a play they run a lot. I've seen them do it a lot, and it was one of those moments where it just pissed me off. It really wasn't that bad. If you're not a Bears fan or like, if you're not a Bears fan, it doesn't piss you off. But in that moment, I was like, that's an easy concept. It's not tricky. Play action boot is a very simple. You could do variations of it, but it looked like most play action boots that you see. You got two crossers, not crossers. You have two guys running the slant. It's like a China 7, where you get two guys kind of running like a small post.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have, the fake handoff. You play action. You simple throw to the tight end. It just pissed me off. And I was also just like on high alert for that game because even though I know we weren't going to win the game, it's one of those like, it's like other Bears fans. It's like you going in, like, hey, I'm glad they're on the schedule. It's a test for what we need to clean up, but you would kind of hope to win that game with how good the defense played.
Yeah. And look, man, it gives you hope, I think, because like if it's kind of like the OU thing, if they could just play complimentary football, I think you feel a lot better about it. But it's just such a big if.
I have a lot more hope. Yeah, I have a lot more hope after that game. I actually, I felt good after the game in some way. Like I know, as fans, you should overreact terribly to a loss. Like, hey, that means you care about your team. Like I care about my team. I didn't really overreact. The only problem that we have is, I mean, good God, hopefully we don't have to play edge guys of that caliber the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I hope not, because Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson, it was a long fucking day for our tackles, dude. It was a long day. Darnell Wright. Well, let me go, I guess, into just to some individual players real quick. I had to go back and watch everything, all 22 YouTube highlights. I had to see what the problem was.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams, I thought he had a pretty solid first half. I thought he played pretty well. He had a few, like, I like Shane Waldron dialing up an offense where the scheme is like get the ball out quick, build some confidence in your young rookie quarterback, like, let him throw the ball a little bit and, let's get the offense rolling, especially when the run game just isn't working. So I like being able to see that. He had some nice throws. He had one where I liked him stepping up in the pocket when the tackles absolutely collapse. He steps up. He makes a nice throw to DeAndre Carter. That was sick. I'm glad to see him do that. It's not that if you watch the game, like it's not him. It's the same thing it's the same problems that we had when Justin Fields were here. It's trying to be able to scheme things up when your offensive line is struggling. The only takeaway that I had from Caleb Williams' performance tonight against a really good defense in the Texans and Justin Fields' like former performances for the Bears is if that offensive line cleans up and gives him time to throw and we can develop routes and get guys healthy, I think he'll be fine. I think he does a good job. Like he gets the ball out quick. That's what I liked about him. That's why I said from the beginning, like it's the smart move to make to draft Caleb Williams because he's played so much football. He can read a defense. He did a lot of good stuff in the first half. Couldn't really throw the ball downfield. He had one really good throw to DeAndre Carter. Ended up being a pass interference because the Texans, it was a clear. It was the Chiefs Bengals, flag that happened late in the game. They were able to score on that drive. I thought he would look good with his legs. He was able to run the ball. He looks fast. Just overall, like I thought he was okay. Now, yes, we'll get into the bad passes because why not? Why not talk about that? I'm sure he'd like to have a couple of those back, especially the one where he threw it across his body. He's on the other side of the field, throws it all the way to the right. Thankfully, I think Cole Kmet was getting held.
Yeah.
Was it Cole Kmet that was getting held?
I think so.
Yeah, so we got away with that one, but it's a throw where, hey, I could do this in college, I could do it in the NFL. He'll learn from that stuff. The interception that he had where he threw it up to DJ Moore. DJ Moore actually got open on the route early. Like Derek Stingley misstepped, and I don't think Caleb was expecting that. He also, I don't necessarily know what Caleb was seeing there, but he threw the ball late. Derek Stingley recovered. That guy's incredible.
Yeah.
Stingley's like, in my opinion, he's playing like a top 3 corner this season. I know it's
Yeah.
week 2 overreactions, but he's playing really fucking good. So good play by him. He should have done the ball earlier, but there was a safety that was coming down. The third interception.
He threw 3.
Well, the first one didn't count. Remember?
Oh yeah.
First one didn't count. The uh, technical, the second interception that he threw, Darnell Wright gets absolutely whooped by Will Anderson. I mean, there's no sugarcoating it. I mean, it's just they're gonna play that in the film room, and like that's gonna be rough for him. He somehow escapes the sack. He escapes the tackle. It was incredible that he was able to escape it. He tries to make a throw. He looks tired. He looks beat up. He trying to underthrows it. The DB makes a good play, and he threw it into triple coverage. Like, hey, you know, it's one of those like, I was able to get away with it in college. Can't really get away with it in the NFL.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But overall, like I felt better. I know it's gonna sound crazy because of just how negative I can be as a person and player sometimes. I felt good, like just seeing some of the stuff like that he was able to do. That they asked him, like, "Hey, on the easy stuff, can you make the easy stuff look easy?" And he did. You know, can you make the hard stuff look like? Can you complete the hard stuff? That's gonna be. You know, we need Keenan Allen back. He needs to be healthy. Roma Dunze was playing banged up, so he needs to be healthy. So I like getting the ball to DeAndre Carter. Gerald Everett's struggling, so he's working with limitations right now. Remember what we said about Oklahoma? Like everything that we talked about with Oklahoma and how what their struggles are this season.
Mm-hmm.
You could basically copy and paste everything that we said about Oklahoma to the Chicago Bears. It's the exact same thing. Same
Yeah.
old Bears. Same old
Yeah.
Bears. Um, as far as wide receivers, DJ Moore, he looked good. I thought it was really stupid to take away the intermediate, like short routes for him because he was beating Stingley whenever he was able to do like the stunt crosses, and he was able to get good yardage out of that. DeAndre Carter looked good. Nothing more to say than that. There are just plays in the game where like I had to go back and watch it. I was like, was Caleb really that bad? Dude, the Texans defense, DeMarco Murray schemed us up big time.
Yeah.
They were playing really good coverage. It's tough. Welcome to the NFL, Rook. It's that kind of moment. So it sucks that that's your second game of the year. I'm glad that it was though. Like put the stress test on him early. Like hey, like now we know what we need to fix going forward.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift, he had a really sick catch. Here's a running back that knows how to make people miss. DeAndre Swift. We just can't get the offensive line to open up for him to be able to do it.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if Barnes and Sawchuck and Tatum could do it.
Fuck, I know.
Swift can do it, but he couldn't run the ball because like there'd be 2 guys in the backfield already. You saw what I saw on the offensive line. I went back and watched it. Thought that they did some good stuff. Braxton Jones, he held his own. He was asked to do it. It's a tough assignment to block. Do it when he played for the Vikings. He did it again. I thought he did a good job in some stuff. He got beat. You're going to get beat. It is what it is. In the running game, he struggled early on, but I think it's stuff that's like they'll get down. Tevin Jenkins played way better than he did last week. Not good enough. Coleman Shelton. Why couldn't we get a center? Like, why did we have to get Coleman Shelton? Because as much shit as I talked about Lucas Patrick last week, like or last year, he was way better than this fucking guy. How is he the starting center?
Yeah.
Like, is this what we're gonna give Caleb Williams? Like, we couldn't get Zach Frazier. We couldn't do something there. We had to
Zach
draft a
Frazier
tackle.
was so fucking good, dude. He was my favorite offensive lineman in the draft.
We had to draft a tackle from Yale. Like that's what we wanted to do. He's hurt, can't even play. We probably won't even play him. Like I know ceiling might be a little bit higher than Braxton Jones, but I mean, my goodness, dude, like just And again, Brian Poles has been fantastic, but I think he thought the offensive line was going to be better, and they had been practicing better, so I'll give him that. Coleman Shelton, the guy just gets bullied. He's assignment sound. He knows who he's supposed to block. You got to get somebody to help him on some of the blocks. Nate Davis, and it's good old Nate Davis. Absolutely gets bullied in the first half of the season. Latter half, he's going to get it going and he's going to look better. And it's like so much hype around him. He was playing. He was hurt, so I'll give him that. He's playing banged up. I thought he did some good stuff. The goal line sack that Caleb Williams took.
Mm-hmm.
It was a stunt. Basically, the defensive the three technique went right after Coleman Shelton, and it just startled Nate Davis, and then the other tackle that was or the other three technique that was lined up, that moved and shifted and lined up in front of Coleman, got all the way around, sacked Caleb. There was nothing he could do. There was no routes that could develop. Just a great play by the defense. Again, their defense is fucking solid, dude. D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah,
they look fucking good.
They're very fucking good.
Darnell Wright started off good, ended terribly for him. He was awful, and I mean, I think he was gassed. I don't know. Like, I have high expectations for him, but how can I say this like nicely?
You can't.
He needs to lose some weight. He's 335 pounds.
You sound like my cardiologist.
I like my tackles being a little like 320. 320, 325.
Mm-hmm.
That's good enough for me. 320, 325. You don't need to be 335. You need to be able to move. Because guess what? Will Anderson was working his ass in the second half.
Yeah.
There's a play that I recorded and I was going to send it to you, but I didn't want you to be mean to me afterwards and just laugh at like how pitiful it was. It was just like Darnell Wright. Like, it was just pathetic. But the offensive line got work. They did some stuff that they needed to do. There were just some stunts that they can't pick up on that they need to work on. Like, it's just simple stunts that the defense ran that it just completely, it was a brain blender. So, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how it went. But, of course, Bears Twitter, I get it. You're upset. You're pissed because you thought it was a winnable game. And you're not upset that Caleb Williams is your quarterback by throwing out, yeah, we should have kept Justin Fields and drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. No, we should have seen what we had at center and maybe try to get a guy there. Because the offensive line, it'll get better. Like, it's simple stuff that you can work on. Like, you got to give him time to throw. You just got to get help. It's the same thing with the Oklahoma Sooners that we talk about. You just got to get guys healthy because it's there. Williams is reading the field. He is seeing it. Like, that was one thing we couldn't get out of Mitchell Trubisky. Is like he couldn't see the field.
That is one thing I do think that's not getting enough praise. There were multiple times just in that game alone that I watched Caleb stand in the pocket as things were collapsing and make the right throw.
Yeah,
and stand strong in there.
The throw to DJ Moore where he like goes to the ground and he's pissed off. A lot of people were talking about that. Like, man, he hates this guy already. It's like it was. Yeah, he missed the throw. He missed it. It's the throw you got to make. He was expecting DJ to break on his route early. He had, I think it was Petrie. Petrie was covering him on that play. He had Petrie from he broke on that's not breaking on the ball. He had his hips turned. He expected oh, if I throw it here, he's gonna come back. He sees what I see, what the corner's doing. He missed the throw, and DJ, I know like Caleb wishes he could have that one back. You multiple throws. There's nobody that's more disappointed in how the game ended up going than Caleb Williams. But I thought he played well. Like, there's flashes. Like, you can see it. You just gotta get
He's
guys healthy.
Yeah, give him time.
You look like a rookie going up against a D'Amico Ryans defense.
Yep. That's exactly what it looked like.
Like, moments. The Roma Dunze, the very final throw,
Last play.
Yeah, the last play. The one before that, intentional grounding, that sucks. He's getting buried before anything can develop. The route's there, but he's already getting buried. It's just like, it sucks. We're upset. But winnable games coming up. We got the Colts. Their defensive.
Very winnable.
You watched that game, right? How does the Colts D line look?
Not good.
Can they punish the Bears? Can we run the ball on them?
Y'all might not be able to, but with the Forrest Buckner look like he's going to be out for some time after that injury, carted off the field. It might be a mid-off in the trenches for y'all next weekend.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I know. But again, it's stuff that you can get better at. Like you can work on the simple stuff. I hope so.
I think y'all be better. I think you need to get healthy. I think just need to get more experience and more time playing together, and might just have to
we have
it out for a year or so.
We can scheme stuff up. I know a lot of Bears fans are just like they're really sad about that game. It's about how it was closer than it should have been.
Yeah,
it should have been a lot worse. So
yeah,
credit the
defense. Should have got
at least this.
Kicked
there hasn't been a single rookie quarterback to throw a touchdown yet.
Really?
Yeah. No rookie quarterback has thrown a touchdown yet.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help when Michael Penix and Drake May are just sitting on the sidelines. So and JJ McCarthy
can't play.
Yeah, exactly. Well, even if he could, fucking Sam Darnold's out there lighting the world on fire. So, do you got any final thoughts on the game before we get out of here?
No. I mean, I'm sorry to bore everybody by listening to that, but I just felt like it's good to overreact. I'm glad that the fan base is doing it, and I'm glad that it's easy. Like if you don't go back and like watch the game in its entirety, you're not dialed in. Like it's easy to say Caleb Williams was bad. And he wasn't great, but like Justin Fields, it's not all on him. Justin Fields is a rookie. I'm happy Shane Waldron's able to see like, hey, I've got a rookie quarterback. I've got to dial some stuff up that are easy throws, whereas Matt Nagy was just such a fucking bitch and just like such a the malpractice against the Browns in that first start. Like, hey, the kid's not ready to play. Well, we want to see him. Okay, yeah, I'll throw him out there and I'm going to make it as hard as humanly possible for him to succeed. Like Shane Waldron's trying. Like he's trying to dial stuff up. It's just the run game really can't get going, and tight ends are missing blocks. Wide receivers are doing their best to block. So I think it'll get better. I think it'll click for Roma Dunze. And that's the other thing. Roma Dunze, that's a tough ask to get that touchdown in the red zone. It would have been the first rookie quarterback to throw a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Put it up there high for his big wide receiver to get. Wasn't able to come down with it, but you got to come down with the ball. I'm not mad at him. I mean, he's a rookie. Like, I think I was a little confused. Like, Roma Dunze is really good at contested catches and high pointing the ball, but that one was, Caleb threw it up there for his big wide receiver to get and just couldn't come down with it.
Yeah.
But also, I think Shane Waldron, like, something was wrong. Like, they were not getting Cole Kmet going on early. I thought Cole Kmet must have fucked his wife or something because, like, Caleb, like, he was not scheming anything up for Cole Kmet to get open. And then they did in the second half. But we got to get the same copy and paste. Like, Oklahoma, same thing. Got to protect your quarterback better. You got to be able to be like the threat deep.
Mm-hmm.
The throw to DeAndre Carter, he missed it. It was the exact same miss that Jackson Arnold had to Jack Hozpedaway. You got to be able to connect on those, and you got to get things going in the run game. You got to be able to spread the ball and attack the defense deep. I think once both teams are able to run the ball, they'll be able to. More guys are going to have to be committed to the box, and I think both quarterbacks need to be able to run the ball more because that completely changes what a defense has to do. So, yeah, it's going great.
Yeah, I can tell.
And I'm oddly optimistic too for both teams.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic about OU. I don't know that we win this weekend, but I'm very optimistic. So, gonna go ahead. We're gonna wrap it up there. This has been PigSkin Podcast Season 2, Episode 7. As always, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share with everybody, and we will be back within the next couple days to get our weekend preview up and ready to go. And it's the first weekend SEC ball in the state of Oklahoma. It was pretty crazy. So you're going to want to stick around for that and for everything that Sebastian and I are going to have to say in regards to this SEC schedule. Awesome. Twitter is going to be fucking fantastic. And Packers and the Bears got a lot to work on and a lot of places to go. So it's only going to get better, and it's only going to get more interesting from here. But this has been PigSkin Podcast, again, Season 2, Episode 7. Peace out.